whenever there's an episodic series, you can bet two men will talk to you. AJ Talon and Owen Finch give their thoughts on Owen and AJ Talks.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Owen and AJ Talks. I'm Owen Finch, and I'm here with...
In my pajamas, AJ Talon, and we're back again for Yellowjackets. This time it's Season 2, Episode 1, the premiere.
Yeah, so, we took a big break from Yellowjackets, mainly because that's the only video we really did from, October to November. The only show we covered or anything like that. So we ended up taking a longer break than we, I think, anticipated on taking, because then also the holidays kicked in, and then I got a job, so it got kind of busy, and then we didn't do the videos exactly when we thought. I'll just kind of point out where we're at. The big plan we were going to do is try to do Yellowjackets week to week because Season 3 comes back. And this is just how much AJ and I procrastinate. We had, 2 months, maybe over a year to do this. And we have less than a month pretty much. I think 3 weeks until Season 3 premieres. And we want to try to get it all done.
Season 2 is only 9 episodes. And we're getting Episode 1 done right now. And we're planning on doing at least up to Episode 3 or 4 during this week, so I think we got plenty of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, to focus on the premiere, we're back at Yellowjackets. Happy to be back, so yeah. Oh, do you want to read all the wiki stuff?
Yeah, so, I'm happy we're back doing Yellowjackets again. This would be kind of cool, too, because, even though I still know everything that happens with you, this would be the last time where I'm going to know more information than you this season, because obviously the next season, we're both going to be going into that blind pretty much.
Yeah, in case you guys haven't remembered, or this is your first time watching, Owen is up to date on the show. This is my first time watching it. So it's a cool contrast, because normally for our shows, either we've both seen the show completely, or I've known everything and you haven't.
Right.
So this is nice role reversal.
But yeah, let's just get into it. So Season 2, Episode 1 is called Friends, Romans, and Countrymen. Kind of took it back into the old days and all that type of stuff. And this episode was directed by Daisy Von Schwarter-Mehrer. And it was written by Ashley Lyle and Bolt Nickerson, and, the creators of the show. Which makes sense, it's a season premiere, so it makes sense that the creators wrote the episode. That's a typical for, a TV show, when it's, the season premiere or a big episode. Usually the creators will write the episode, so that makes sense that happened. Do you want to guess when this episode came out? It's been a while since we've done Yellowjackets, so you're just going to have to, remember when stuff.
I think you said the gap, because I know the previous season was set in 2000. I think it was 2000.
2000?
No, I mean 2020 or 2019. I know from the notes that it's set in 2021. Because it's winter, I'm going to guess November 15th, 2021.
So AJ, you got really fucked because you tried to use information that the show gave you, and none of that meant shit because, it kind of didn't mean shit. So the actual
this is picking up right after Season 1. Yeah, that's right.
So this episode actually came out on March 26, 2023. I'll get into the big thing, but
we're still kind of winter season. That's good.
But, you said, we're in the winter and stuff. So you tried to use, outside knowledge, hey, we're in the winter, That doesn't mean shit because most of this season's going to be taking place on a sound stage. So then none of that all that snow you just saw, none of that snow's not real, AJ. That's not real snow.
Yeah.
I think they did that because, they figured, it'd be easier to do it at a sound stage. So that way not all of them would have to fly out all at once. And they're going to, as you see, because it's winter, they're going to be doing a lot of scenes in the cabin. It's just easier to build a sound stage. stage type of thing. So
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure season 1 was in the cabin a good amount, but not as much as it's going to be this season, because again they're in the winter. So
Okay, because there were a decent amount of scenes this time. Or I guess there's only like one or two where Travis and Natalie were outside, so I figured that was real snow. Okay.
Well, I assume that is, but I'm saying any scenes with the cabin and like around the cabin area, that's all like a sound stage and everything like that. But yeah, so this is where we're at with Yellowjackets. So I'll kind of talk to you about what
behind the scene things. Owen showed me like an in-universe MTV newscaster talking about how it's been a few months since the Yellowjackets plane crash happened, which is cool because the first scene of this episode is like a bunch of news reporters reporting once the Yellowjackets like got back to society. So I like when shows do like little promotional things like that. I mean, with Red versus Blue, we just talked about the miniseries Willows and Wall and MIA, which is just kind of like what the characters are doing. In between the seasons, they're kind of just dicking off.
Yeah, they clearly did this kind of as like because this show obviously came out more recently than RVB and stuff, but I kind of like that they did this, kind of gave like some extra media and extra content. I kind of wish they would have put this in the episode though, just so that way, because not a lot of people, because the show only came out like a year ago by this point. They should have probably put this in the episode because the show wasn't really getting as well known as it did in season 2 and everything like that. They should have like put it in the episode in case, for the people that like didn't act, because I actually didn't know about this YouTube video because, I watched season 1 like 2 weeks before season 2 came out. So I didn't actually see this. And the only reason I found this is because my YouTube channel, you can put your history on and off of when you watch stuff, and it came up in my recommendations when I was like watching Yellowjackets stuff and everything like that. But
of course, Yellowjackets isn't like the only thing to do it. We did Breaking Bad mini episodes. Toy Story has like a couple of those like small specials.
Yeah.
Yellowjackets isn't the only thing to like do like little extra things, kind of showing like what's going on in between, like the actual show points. But still, it's just a nice thing. It makes the world feel more alive. Like there's shit going on beyond the little fucking piece of woods that the Yellowjackets are stuck in.
Yeah, because that's a critique my friend Chris and I have talked about, that we didn't really get to see like anyone's reactions, like, because we saw what their life was like before the plane crash. So I kind of like that, like they're doing videos and stuff, like showing their reactions. Like we didn't get like any of the characters, and it's kind of cool too, because it kind of tells you what's going on like in the world, like worldwide, because he doesn't just mention the plane crash in that news thing. He mentions like there was like
right. For our characters, it's like the most important thing ever. But like for the news, it's just another story.
Right. But yeah, I also want to mention some things. So I did mention the air date, because that's actually the air date. It was March 26, 2023. But this is where the air dates are going to get weird. So Showtime, if is what is the network and stuff where Yellowjackets airs on. Well, Yellowjackets, if you can get a subscription to Showtime and watch all their shows, and for Yellowjackets particularly, you can watch the episodes like a couple of days early. So I actually watched this episode like March 24th, 2023. It will get kind of weird because we're going to talk about in future episodes reviews that there's times I think where Yellowjackets like thinks people actually did this, like a lot of people did this, so they'll post spoilers sometimes onto their Instagram pages and stuff, or like post clips saying watch this, because a pretty scene of mine that we'll talk about later on is going to get spoiled. And as we're going to talk about in this video, maybe not this video but a different video, you watch the trailer.
Maybe don't point it out. This video maybe pointed out in the episode it actually like happens in.
Yeah, but if the trailer we'll talk about spoiled a big thing for you. We might mention it this video, we might not, but let's just get started. Let's start reviewing the show and get right into it.
So of course, as usual, we're going to split the show into the past section and the present section. For this one, I'm talking about what happens in 1996. Well, it's funny, I say 1996, but actually the first scene of the episode happens after the past, but before the present, some kind of weird middle ground. It's not the future or the past, it's some kind of a gift on it. It's a present, if you will.
Hey, you broke it down better. I usually call it the super past or whatever type of thing. Yeah. I guess this would be the super future, I guess, because this is kind of after the plane crash and everything like that. So,
yeah.
I guess it wouldn't be the super future though, because wouldn't the super future be like?
I was gonna say, wouldn't the super future be 2021?
I guess.
Yeah.
I do want to say. I do want to say this. The reason we're doing it this way is because even though there's a ton of stuff that happens in both things, there's not enough that actually happens where we can both break down the storyline, because the past is pretty connected for the most part. So that's why he's talking about the past and I'm talking about... And there's a lot of things that AJ wants to get off his chest about the past. So that's why,
I will say, because we talked about it a lot last season, where they kind of would spread themselves too thin for an episode, where it felt like not much really happened because they would divide screen time between all four main characters in the present or the past.
Mm-hmm.
I think the past they did a really good job. It was pretty focused. We got more than just one plot line. We had 2 or 3 to focus on. But for the present, I think that definitely still is continuing that issue, where it's spreading itself too thin over Misty, Shauna, Natalie, and Taissa. Whereas I think it would do. I mean, it's the season premiere, so I kind of get you want each of the 4 in the first episode. But I'm hoping the rest of the season does a better job at just having a Natalie episode, a Misty episode, a Shauna episode. That way it's not spreading itself too thin over too many plot lines.
Yeah, because I feel like why they did it well too in season 1, especially with the present, because Natalie and Misty would have a plot, and then it'd be whatever Shauna's doing, whatever Thais is doing. This one definitely had that issue because they clearly, because also they wanted to introduce Lottie as a character too, so they wanted to make so it seemed like she was kind of the overwhelming focus of season 2, even though she doesn't really show up much until the beginning until the and then the end type of thing. Because season 2, the present, was really mostly about Shauna and I guess Natalie.
Well, I actually don't know how much of a problem with Lottie. Where in season 1, she was more of a she was there. She had a couple scenes with Laura. Again, I think the show didn't do a good job establishing her schizophrenia, but we did get plenty of a good amount of scenes with Lottie. She didn't overtake the main characters, but she was present. And we got to know her well. And then the end of the season is establishing she's going to be a bigger character in season 2. And then in this episode, she's pretty much the main focus of this episode, I'd say. So I'm actually really liking that, where they established her and they slowly made her more and more important, as opposed to a new character who just wasn't there at all in season 1, and all of a sudden she's just here now. I think
they did this well in this episode too, because this was kind of the big questions of what everyone was asking about, because the episode ended with us kind of finding out that Lottie was alive in the present. So now we got kind of the answers of what's Lottie doing now and everything that.
Yeah, that was the big cliffhanger of season 1. One of the big cliffhangers was Lottie's alive and she's kidnapped Natalie.
Yeah,
basically.
I think too. They obviously because
following up.
Also too, Lottie's also moved up. She was kind of moved up to the main cast, because obviously it's pretty common with shows, because Jackie died the last season, and obviously even though Jackie's in this episode, but Jackie's obviously not going to be a main character really anymore, so Lottie kind of gets to move up now and everything like that. So
yeah, and again, like I said, I like that they did it. She was more of a background character, but they've slowly made her more and more important, and like you said, now she's a main character tied with the main 4.
Yeah.
So I like that. Again, I think they did a good job introducing her. The first scene of the episode is cutting to, after the year and a half is over, the Yellowjackets have been found, and a bunch of news reporters are outside the building where they are being held. And then, the police are escorting them to the plane. And I do like how all the Yellowjackets have hoods on them to hide their face. Because, of course, they're still pretty young. They just had this traumatic experience. So it makes sense that the police are kind of like having them hide their faces and like escorting them to the plane because of course everybody's like wanting to like harass them.
Yeah.
We see a couple of their faces, of course. We see Misty kind of like look around and she seems to like smile. She seems to actually like all the attention that she's getting. Whereas of course Thaisa and like Shauna are like kind of just like still hiding their faces. They just want to get to the plane and leave. They don't want to like do all this. They don't like have the cameras in their faces. And everybody like asking them like, what were you doing for the last year and a half?
I mean, it raised some questions on my end too, type of thing. Because we still don't even know. Because like we said in the season 1, other than Jackie's death, maybe, and like some and like the shroom stuff, they hadn't really done anything all that crazy yet, and all that type of stuff. So it kind of raised you questions like, what the hell did they do out there? We kind of know, but don't know. We haven't seen it yet, type of thing. And again, this makes sense because
that's a big thing. Present day, they've all been tight-lipped for decades.
Yeah.
On what they did. So yeah, and of course this is taking place like after all this shit happened.
This makes me question too. In the future, if we're ever gonna get like 3 timelines, because a lot of people speculate that like immediate after getting rescued timeline, like them trying to live their day out again type of thing. Which I kind of hope they don't do that, because then you have to, because it's already kind of tough enough sometimes. Fix it, cut it in and out between 2 timelines. If you do 3 timelines, you're gonna really struggle, and I feel like the show will kind of be a mess if they do that type of thing.
But I feel like one of the reporters, like someone like in the background, like screams like who lived, who died, like something like that.
Yeah.
Which is a question, because again, we don't even like fully know, like how many people were out there. I think we got like we got a view of that picture in like the at the reunion from the season finale of last season. That there seems to have been about like 15 of them out there. But again, like aside from like who we have in present day, obviously we don't know who else died, and or like how many people did make it out actually.
And as we're gonna see, as you mentioned in this episode, they could add more before we even get to that point, type of thing. So
yeah, but yeah, Lottie is everyone's like gets on the plane, we're just gonna escort them out of the area. Excuse me. But Lottie pauses as she's getting onto the plane because somebody screams like, can you say anything? And then we cut away to later, where Lottie's reunited back with her family, presumably like a couple days or weeks later, where she's still just dead silent. Her parents are talking to a psychiatrist who's saying like, she's just like dead eyes, she doesn't say anything, she's just gonna wander the house. Makes sense. Again, as far as I know, their poor daughter has just been in a plane crash for a year and a half, surviving out in the woods. She obviously ran out of her mental health medication, so she's probably just like mentally fucked, like from that as well.
This could be a thing too. Maybe they're trying to get her back on the medication too, and she hasn't taken a medication for so long. I think your mind would be messed up.
Hop back on medication like that, so they might have to find like alternatives or like slowly get her back up to where she was. But again, her father just kind of like literally just said like, "Can you fix her?" Like when she just like sitting right there.
Yeah.
Like if somebody was worried about my mental health and they just said to somebody like, "Fix him," I'd be like, "Whoa, buddy, how about you go fix my fucking fist in your mouth?"
What a father what a great father he is, father of the year.
And as we're going to find out, their way of fixing Lottie is to strap her down in a hospital and electrocute the absolute fuck out of her. And they give her like a needle, which is supposed to be like a sedative. It clearly isn't doing its fucking job. Because she's like again having like, flashbacks of that creepy hallway that she did last season. And she's like clearly like, convulsing in pain. So again, fucking father of the year, his daughter, again, she was out in the woods, like having to do who knows what to survive, and she's clearly off for like mental health medication that she needs for a year and a half. She gets back, and he's like, "Oh, my daughter seems like kind of sad. I know, let's fucking electrocute her brain until she's a fucking normal girl." That's great.
Yeah, Lottie's dad's father of the year. What a great dad he is, type of thing.
His dad would laugh in Lottie's face as she got electrocuted. It's Chad, Akita's dad, versus the Virgin Lottie's dad.
Kita's dad wins easy. Easy.
Oh,
Easy.
100%. That guy wearing glasses indoors at nighttime. Take a peek.
He kept. What makes him win is he kept the fact from his own son for like for the years that he couldn't.
That he can't bring sisters, and then as his son's hopes and dreams got crushed, he smiled in the background.
I think why Kita's dad wins too is because that was unintentional that he was smiling. It was intentional. That's why he wins, type of thing. So
yeah, well, okay, it's funny. But it is I mean, I get it's. I don't know. I was gonna say it's unrealistic, but at the same time, there are plenty of shitty parents out there.
Right.
It is just funny how stupid he is. Like I said, that was a thought process. The mom seemed pretty understandable. Again, the mom just seemed like really sad that like she finally has her daughter back, and then like her daughter just seems like so traumatized and like dead inside.
Well, I feel like why we can make a joke out of this too is because this isn't the first time where like her dad's been like overly worried about his daughter type of thing, because I don't know if you remember when they did like a flashback when she like saved their lives and everything like that. The dad's like, what the hell's going on with it? So it's not
mom getting like God's gift, and her dad was like, no, it's fucking crazy. She has like a mental issue.
So yeah, her dad, what a great father he is. He should get Father of the Year. He should get all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I like to think. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Honestly, he makes Jeff and Sean are struggling with like Callie. Lottie's dad, yeah, he's he maybe he would fix Callie right away, type of thing, But what I did like though about this scene though is because they redid the whole scene where like she got baptized, and this time instead of the candle, her light in the candle, because we actually forgot to talk about this when we did that scene, when we talked about that episode originally, because of the shock therapy, like the candles went out as if they're trying to shock, like, that experience out of her and all that type of stuff. So,
yeah.
Not just one candle went out, they all went out, type of thing. That's how you know Lottie's dad's doing a good job, if he can get the candles to go out, type of thing. That's how you know he's doing a Father of the Year. What a great dad.
Yeah, but he's. Okay, so we get two good juxtaposition. Fucking English. We get two good comparisons for Lottie. After the fucking goddamn it, English is my first language. Lottie is in the hospital bed in her room after the electrocution. Her roommate also has like a mental issue where she's like on her bed, like telling the voices in her head to shut up. And Lottie goes over to comfort her. I like that because we kind of saw last season that like Lottie was going to become like sort of the leader of the group.
Yeah.
And Laura was kind of comforting Lottie with about her like the thing she was seeing. So I kind of like that. Now Lottie is kind of taking Laura's position.
I like that, yeah, and I like too because we get to see the scene like in the past again in a different way.
And also, Laura's like besides Jackie, like the only character who's died so far. And I think the big thing we complained about was we didn't really get everybody's like immediate reaction to Laura's death.
Yeah.
So this is kind of nice seeing that Laura's death has stuck with Lottie. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
And then she's kind of comforting her and saying, like it's okay. They're fixing me. They'll fix you too. And then of course, and then it cuts to present day where Lottie present day is giving a speech how nobody can fix you, and that there's only one person that can fix you, and that's yourself. That's the first change we see in Lottie, where like after she got back from the woods, she seemed like she was kind of okay with like what her parents were doing to her. She wanted to get fixed, return to how she was at before the woods. But now present day, she, since she's leading a cult that's all about the woods, it seems like she's kind of embraced who she was out there.
I we got to meet all different types of versions of Lottie, kind of seeing how her characters changed throughout each timeline after each thing and everything like that. And sorry, the other opposite thing I liked was, as I said,
at the very beginning. We had that, the reporter saying, like, can you say anything? And, of course, it cuts to in the hospital where Lottie's continuing not to just say anything at all. But then later in the episode, we cut to Lottie's response to that reporter, and she just turned around and screamed.
Yeah.
I like that. Because again, we haven't, like, Lottie's always seemed, like, composed and collected, past and present day. So seeing her just turn around and scream at everybody in the crowd was interesting. And again, it kind of reminds me of Doomcoming, where they are, like, acting like wild animals. And Thaisa, the lady in the woods, where she sleepwalks, and she acts like a fucking animal, She, like, is climbing trees and, like, decapitating animals. Or, like Shauna, where she saw a rabbit and she, like, grabbed a shovel and killed it and skinned it.
Yeah.
It's kind of just showing how, like, again, once they got back to society, they tried to return to, like, the people they were, like live quiet, normal lives. But, like, a part of them took the woods with them. Like, a part of them was, like, a caged animal, Yeah, and they're, like, decades they've been trying to keep that part of them caged.
And that's why, it's coming out slowly in the present day, like you mentioned. It also reminded me, too, when she screamed, that was her reaction when Laura died, is Lottie screamed when she died and everything like that, too. So, and then, what else was going on in the past? Because, they were showing a lot.
That was super past, Owen. Which, again, the super past implies that was before, but this is, like, after everything.
Yeah.
So cutting to about 2 months after season 1 ended. So now winter was just starting at the end of season 1 because obviously Jackie froze to death. But now it's like the fucking dead of winter. They're all bundled up. They're all using like whatever clothes they have to like wrap themselves up. Again, that's gonna suck for them because again, like they only planned on being in Seattle for like a week, and it wasn't winter yet, so they probably like they're just like making use of whatever clothing they had on them. And also, like the cabin guy presumably had some clothes there.
Yeah. This kind of sucks for them. I think a lot of people ask, like, what if you were stuck in the woods for this time of the month? If it got to winter, I'd probably just take the gun and shoot myself because I hate the cold. I would not want to deal with this. That's how I would just kill myself at this point.
It's been pretty cold lately. They're like in the middle of the fucking Canadian wilderness, and it's winter. Fuck that.
It's 15 degrees where I am right now, and I'm like, I don't even want to deal with that. I don't even want to go outside. That's how bad it is, type of thing.
I'm inside right now, and like again, I'm in Florida.
Yeah.
Like you said, I'm probably playing Russian roulette and fucking killing myself. Well, honestly, I play Russian roulette out of boredom as well, where I'm like, okay, listen, guys. This sucks. Let's just make a game out of it so it's somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm a little surprised that everybody's kind of hanging in there because a big thing with the Doom coming was they've all kind of just like sat there and realized like, okay, we're all gonna die. So they're like, fuck it, let's have a prom, like if we're gonna die and have like some fun first. And then they've kind of abandoned that. It's been, obviously it's been like 2 months since then, and they're all hanging in there. As far as we know, Laura and Jackie are still the only people who've died.
Right.
And then Javi just off. Again, Javi went west instead of south, and like found a town nearby.
I mean, that's kind of like a little bit of critique. They don't let things breathe sometimes. I kind of don't like the fact we got like a little bit of a time skip because there's stuff in this episode that like would have been kind of cool if it was built up. Like, Van sleeping with Thaisa upstairs now. Like that would have been a big scene that they kind of missed an opportunity out to do. Seeing like Shauna's like more immediate reaction to Jackie's death. Even though we kind of did, but like seeing it more because you're gonna talk about that later. And then there's a big thing that like happened with Travis that I think I'll let you kind of talk about. Because he's just fine with the group now, type of thing. It's just kind of weird, So it's like what happened.
Yeah. I was gonna get into all that. I was gonna like kind of say like what has changed, what hasn't.
Yeah.
And everyone's like in their winter gear. I think that, again, like I said, I think the costume department did a good job. Like, it really just seems like they've just kind of, like, worn whatever they can. Like, kind of like a mishmash of clothing. Because it'd be really weird if they all had, like, stylish winter outfits, because they obviously didn't plan on that.
Right. What sucks for them though, IOL, is when they were filming this though. They had to do scenes where they were cold, but it actually wasn't cold. It was hot, so they were sweating half the time when they were doing this type of thing.
Right, they're actually fucking super warm because, like you said, this was filmed in a sound set, not actually the winter.
Right.
Yeah. So I was saying, Lauren and Jackie are the ones who have died, and everyone was so sure they were gonna die last time. I kind of wish Jackie would I kind of wish maybe one or two of the background characters died in between in the last 2 months.
Right.
I feel like that would really help the depressing atmosphere if some people were legit just I can't do this anymore.
Or just died off.
Dark,
or died off screen. Yeah.
The fucking background characters.
I mean, as you're gonna see in this episode, they get a couple more anyways. So.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and as we found out, not too much has happened. Javi's still missing. I was legitimately surprised by that because when you told me, by the way, it became a running joke that Javi just fucks up.
Right.
And then you told me, by the way, that becomes a plot point. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. So he ran off at the end of Doom Coming, and then they're gonna find him in the next episode. Then didn't find him. I was like, oh, okay, I guess continuing that to season 2. But I guess there's not going to be much of a time skip. It's been 2 months, and it's the dead of winter.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. And pretty much everybody, especially Natalie, is assuming that Javi is, of course, dead. It's dead of winter. Where the fuck could he have gone? And pretty much every day, like last season, Natalie and Javi and Travis are venturing out trying to... well, they have 2 objectives now. One, before they were just hunting for food. But there's not really much food out there anymore because obviously it's winter, all the animals have left. Or they're hibernating or whatever.
Well, the CGI department needs to up their game, so they want to make sure they don't do any animals this season.
Yeah, fuck you, we did the shitty wolves and the bear. We're not doing it anymore. Yeah, but now they've kind of made a second objective where Natalie is mapping out where they go and taking what she finds back to Ben. And it's kind of cool that they Natalie and Ben have continued their friendship from last season.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of working together and trying to piece out their surrounding areas. Because it makes sense. Again, they're just sitting in the cabin, they barely have any food, and Natalie even makes a joke later where they're just watching the fire, and she's like, "Gotta love this Stone Age TV."
I guess what I liked about all this stuff too, it makes sense. Because they're trying to get around in they're trying to get away with the surrounding areas. It's still doing enough stuff where they're trying to find an escape without really doing much type of thing too.
Exactly. I love that. Because again, it'd be dumb if they were all just sitting in the cabin, being well, I guess we'll just stay here forever.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense that they'd be trying to do something. Even if it's not much. Again, it's freezing. And it's even a point that Travis wants to keep looking, but it's getting dark, and they don't want to get locked out in the cold and end up with Jackie. So they head back. So it's pretty much, and they leave a little ribbon on a tree showing this is where they've been already. So I like it. They're just kind of venturing out more and more each day, trying to get a better grasp of the surroundings and seeing if they can find an escape route. Yeah.
It does seem
I think it makes sense given their surroundings. There's not much they can do, but they're doing what little they can.
Yeah. I think this makes sense, too, just because that Ben's the one that, is still kind of looking for, an escape. It doesn't really seem like everyone's given up, but they're kind of, accepting their fate. Ben still kind of wants to find a way out of there. And which is kind of a cool character moment for Ben, because it's last season, when he lost his leg, he was, wanting to die type of thing, so this is kind of a good character moment for Ben. It does make sense too that in Travis's mind they're both looking for Javi, but I think in Natalie's mind she's just kind of doing what Ben's doing, so they're kind of...
I think Travis is hopeful, but I think a part of him also kind of knows, I think he knows that Natalie doesn't believe Javi's alive, and I think it's part of him kind of thinks it too, but he's just he lost his dad, he doesn't want to lose his brother either.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, last season, Natalie and Travis have kind of made amends. They're really close again, and it seems like they're dating again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of jumped ahead a little bit, but before Natalie and Travis go out, Lottie's doing a little thing where she like brushes something on their hand, like waves of flame around them, and like they like dip their blood in like a pool of water, like a little cup. And it's a little interesting that Natalie is kind of being like, "This shit's stupid. Like this doesn't do anything." And Lottie's like, "Hey, well, you keep coming back alive every day, don't you?"
Yeah.
And then Travis is kind of just like, he's not really saying anything, but he's just like, "Hey, thanks, Lottie." So that says two things. One, Travis is okay with the group now. That sucks. I get it's been 2 months. But we just didn't really get anything with that. Because, again, last time, Travis just kind of like fucked off looking for Javi. Like, he didn't really interact with anybody after that happened. But they all tried to kill him. So we didn't really get Travis being like, "Hey, guys, could you hunt me down and try and fucking cut my head off?" And also, Natalie pointed out that Travis never believed in any of the spiritual mumbo jumbo. Whereas, here it seems like Javi, like, it doesn't seem like he believes in it, but he's just kind of neutral on it.
Yeah, this kind of opened up a can of worms on both ends type of thing, It was weird that Travis was just cool with the group with like 2 months. It's just kind of funny because interviewers and stuff joked around saying like 2 months, that's a long time ago. I mean, I guess maybe in terms of like being straight out in the wilderness, I guess it's a long time ago, but still, like after 2 months, he shouldn't be like cool with like the whole group after they just tried to hunt him down.
I get it, like, so kind of like it's like the only cabin in the area, like they kind of have to be in the same area. But again, it just seems weird that Travis is like cool with everybody. You figure like he'd be fine with Natalie, but like everybody else, he'd be like, "Listen, don't talk to me," or like he'd just be like wary of everybody.
Especially
if I were him, I'd be like, "I can't sleep at night."
Right.
You're gonna fucking kill me in my sleep.
Especially considering the fact too, like Lottie was the one that like was leading this like attack on him and stuff too. So that's even stupid that he's even cool with Lottie type of thing,
Exactly. Yeah, Lottie specifically, because she's the one who started all that shit.
And then also, too, another thing is, like, this kind of starts the conversation, like, was this a big continuity or that Natalie mentioned, like, Travis didn't believe in that stuff type of thing, like,
But again, he's kind of neutral on it, like, he's not really for it or against it. But again, based on what Natalie said, it feels like she should have been the one who's kind of just like, whatever. And Travis should have been like, "All right, this is stupid."
Yeah. I feel like too, it should have been one. That was definitely like a line they put in there, not really planning that they were going to do something with it. I think the next season type of thing. It was really weird how that was laid out.
I know when Natalie said that in the episode review, you mentioned that they kind of backtrack on that. I don't know if this is what you meant or if like it's another thing.
Oh, there's another thing, but this.
Okay, because I was gonna say here again, it's like it's not really for or against. Travis is just being like, "Yeah, thanks, Lottie," and he seems cool with it. Whereas based on what Natalie said, he seemed like it was kind of just like he was like dismissive of it altogether.
I think it didn't help too. I'm pretty sure that same episode was when they did the seance, and he was participated in it too. So.
Yeah, and you figured he would have been like downstairs being like whatever. Or like he would have taken Javi's place and he would have come in and be like, "So we're all gonna die or what?"
Yeah. Well, then again, Javi wouldn't have fucked off though if he didn't do that a lot. So.
Yeah. I think it's so funny because like it's just so unexpected. Where he was just in the bush, and then Shauna was like, "Run," and then he ran, and that was it. He's been gone for literally months.
2 months.
Like
yeah.
You figure they would have had like a longer shot of him like running. But like it was literally just he kind of just like runs for like 2 seconds,
yeah,
and then the scene. And I kind of just figured he just like ran off nearby, like he'd come back once he fucking came down. But no, he just like fucked like completely.
Yeah, I don't get that. I guess I get he's got things to do. He's got his society out there and everything like that.
I love how that was a running joke for us, and like it became like a major plot point.
I mean, I didn't even say that. I mean, even though I knew he was the storyline was coming, it still kind of happened naturally because I forgot Because I remember thinking when I started watching season 2, like, why don't I care that, like, Harvey's been missing? And now because, I did watch Yellowjackets episodically. I watched it.
Because he was, like, early in season 1, yeah.
So, like, that explains, like, oh, yeah, okay. So that's why I don't really care that Harvey's missing. Because, because he was barely in season 1.
Some people, they're just making a bigger deal out of it now for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, again, so yeah, Travis, I'm disappointed that he's just cool with everybody.
Yeah.
Again, I'm liking Lottie's role. Lottie's pretty cool so far. I like that. Again, based on what happened in season 1, she's kind of embraced her, like, schizophrenia or, like, her visions from God, whatever they are.
Going back to Travis, too, it would be one thing if, like, he's just, like, laser focused on trying to find Harvey, so he's, like, gotta deal with all this stuff later, but it's been, like, 2 months, dude. Like, I think you should have said something by now.
They're all just, like, their day-to-day is just sitting around staring at walls.
Yeah.
Again, I probably would have mentioned it at least once or twice. You're like, hey, guys, so, like, why did you try to kill me?
I mean, LVB would have mentioned it. It'd be like a joke, at least it'd get mentioned, type of thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, all right, Red vs. Blue, they would at least make a joke out of it.
We didn't even get that. Like,
yeah. Yeah. So that kind of sucks. But I like how, again, Travis is, like, still looking for Javi.
Yeah.
And again, he's like the actor did a really good job. It really seems like Travis kind of knows he's dead, but, like, he's just clinging on to that last hope. Because when Natalie brings it up, he seems like he starts having, like, a panic attack. But I don't know, he seems kind of receptive to it.
Right.
And again, when Natalie was like, "Hey, we can, like, keep pushing, like, we can keep looking," and Travis is the one to be like, "No, let's go back for today."
And then when he digs up the hole, it's a fox's, like, head that's been, like, decomposed and everything like that, but he sees, like, Harvey's head in there and everything like that.
I do like that. Yeah, where he's just like, yeah. And by the way, I say Travis knows deep down he's dead. I'm assuming Javi is alive. Cause it'd be really weird to make this a big plot point if he's just dead out there.
I mean, it's just weird anyways they're doing this big plot point because he fucks off half the time anyways, so...
Right, like, again, I'm surprised he's not back in civilization already.
I mean, he might be. Again, he's got his crew out there.
Yellowjackets is the spin-off of the Big Variety Hour.
That'd be awesome if it actually was.
I'd watch it. Just what Javi was doing in the last 2 months.
We gotta have that.
Well, no, again, like RVB does, like, the miniseries of, like, what happens in between seasons. I would legit. I don't know where Javi's been, but, like, whenever we find out where he's been, if we get, like, a miniseries on, like, what he was doing, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but yeah. So I'm liking that we're getting, like, a recap on what everybody's been up to. Yeah, again, Javi and Natalie are continuing. Fucking Travis and Natalie are continuing their hunt and expanding the area, giving Ben reports. Lottie, again, continuing her, like, religious shit.
Yep.
And then, as I said, Javi, fucking Travis. Travis, his name is Travis.
His name's Travis.
Starts having a panic attack in the cabin when Natalie's bringing up Javi. But Lottie kind of calms him down. And she says, like, hey, don't worry. Like, Javi's out there. You'll find your brother. And Natalie pulls her aside to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, well, I also like it because Ben was kind of confronting Natalie on this earlier, where he's like, listen, you got to, like, talk with him about this because it's just going to get worse and worse the longer you, like keep having hope that Javi's alive.
Yeah.
And again, I'd be in that, and I'd be in that position too. Where I'm like, look, it's been 2 months since it's dead of winter. We're barely surviving in this cabin. He's out there with no shelter, and, like, he doesn't have any clothes or anything. Like, he's dead.
Right.
So yeah, I think it makes sense that Natalie was hesitant to talk about it because that seems to be, like, the only thing really keeping Travis going.
Yeah.
Again, I think it would have helped the atmosphere, like I said, if, like, two of the background characters, like, committed suicide in between seasons.
Yeah, that'd be better. I
feel
feel
that's what Natalie mentioned in the present day when she was talking to that bank worker. where they talked about how Travis promised like no matter how low they get, they'll never commit suicide.
Yeah, so that makes sense if like they made that Pacquiao type of thing or something. So
yeah, I would have liked to like if like Natalie like was legitimately worried like if he finds out Javi is dead, he's gonna like end it all.
Right.
So I say like maybe set them up.
I feel like too. It makes sense to be in Travis's position too, just because it's family and you're like your brother, and he's lost everything. Like he lost his dad and everything like that. Like Travis, like Javi, for all he knows, is like the only family he has at the moment, type of thing. So, and it's your brother.
Exactly.
You don't want to think your brother or like your family's dead and all that type of stuff. So
Yeah, exactly. And again, he's not really close to anybody out here besides Nat. Again, I would have trouble being close to anybody if they tried to cut my fucking head off.
But that's
apparently Travis.
yeah, Travis is cool. He cool.
Yeah, Travis was like fucking whatever, man. I was high as shit. I don't give a fuck.
I do think when Lottie said that too, like your brother's alive. There's a thing you miss is when like Travis, when Lottie was calming him down, having Travis take deep breaths. Kind of after that, he got a boner from it, and I think Lottie knew it, so it was kind of an awkward for the moment thing, type of thing. And
did he get a? Okay, I didn't notice that actually.
I didn't notice when I saw that originally either, but yeah, that did happen. So maybe they both had an awkward moment there. So Lottie just wanted to say that to like end that type of thing.
I love that. A girl notices that you have a boner. She's like, don't worry, your dead brother's alive.
Yeah.
Nothing's okay. I don't know. I just imagine like I don't know. I'm like with a girl and we have an awkward moment, and she's like, "Don't worry, your mother's still alive." I'm like, "Okay, thanks."
Well, it is Lottie though. Lottie's.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to think about my mom boner, but thank you.
It is Lottie though, so.
Yeah, Lottie's fucking weird. And not as weird as that guy who dated his cousin. Remember back in season 1, that was a plot point.
Yeah, it was a thing.
I want to find out more about that guy.
But I do like that Natalie and Lottie have this moment where, like, they're kind of going back and forth about, like, false hope and type of thing. Like,
yeah, I was going to mention that where Natalie, like, look, I've been struggling to, like, bring this up, and, like, we finally kind of, like, had it happen. And now you've given him, like, even more false hope. And then Lottie said, like, there's no such thing as false hope.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that we're having this conflict because obviously present day, Natalie and Lottie are having a conflict.
Right. So it's kind of cool back then, and everything like that.
That's it for, like, these characters. Again, we're kind of just getting a recap on what they've been up to the last 2 months. Natalie I like, Ben I like, Lottie I like. Again, Travis, pretty disappointing. There's no real, like, conflict after Doom coming. And it's pretty dumb that Javi just fucked off for 2 months.
Overall, I thought this was relatively good stuff. I liked, that they're trying to do stuff to get out of there without, but what they can do is limited. I like, Natalie kind of, going on this quest and everything like that. But yeah, really, and I like Lottie. I think she, everything she's doing is good. But yeah, what they're doing with Travis, that's stupid. The fact that he just got over the fact that 2 months ago they like almost killed him, type of thing. And then Javi like fucking off. The fact that they turned that into a plot device now is like stupid. Just because.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm kind of fine with it. It just was so sudden.
Yeah.
Again, when Shauna told him to run and he ran, that did not give the impression that he was going to fuck off for 2 months.
Well, especially too, though, it's just stupid because like he was barely in season 1, and there's episodes
that's another thing where I'm like, I kind of struggled to care because he fucked off all the time in season 1, and now like we kind of said it as a joke, but like it really just feels like the characters are only complaining about it now because the script is saying that.
Right. I feel like too. It seems like did the writers just like realize that like, hey, we're not really putting him in much stuff, so let's just make this a story now. And if that's the case, that's also stupid too, type of thing.
Like, I'm glad they're giving him something. It kind of feels like too little, too late.
Yeah.
And again, what point is Javi is missing when Javi was always missing 95% of the time. I'm like, okay, and what else is new? The fucking sky is blue.
I know, yeah. Well, not this, not always, but
Yeah. Well, for them, it's fucking white now because it's dead winter.
yeah.
But yeah, that's like half of the past. We get little bits from the other characters. So Thais and Van, their plot line is, of course, they came out in the Doom comics. Everybody knows they're a couple. They've been sleeping out in the attic by themselves. I don't know if that's because they want privacy from everybody else, or because obviously Thais started sleeping in the attic last season to prove that ghosts aren't real. So I don't know if that's kind of just continuing that, or because they're a couple and privacy.
Yeah.
I'm assuming because they just want privacy.
I feel like that if them doing a time jump, I would have liked to see Van actually make that decision, because the big thing in this episode was Taissa telling Van not to sleep up there with her, just let me sleep by myself, and Van's I chose to be up there.
Yeah, it's also weird because remember Van didn't they had a fight because Taissa went up to the attic and Van didn't want to.
Yeah.
And Van at the end of last season was kind of getting mad at Taissa that she's being so dismissive of all the supernatural shit. Because Van is now believing in the supernatural stuff.
Right.
So it seems weird that now that Van is cool in the attic when she seemed scared of it before, and now she's even more superstitious. So it seems extra weird that she's up there.
Yeah. So I would have liked to have seen them do something on this instead of doing the time jump, because I feel like they kind of used the time jump to kind of tell that story instead, saying okay, now Van can be in the attic type of thing. So
it's funny, even though Death Note after the time skip wasn't as good as the before the time skip itself was cool. Kind of seeing how the world has changed because of Kira.
Yes, but by the time we got to that point, Nia had ruined the show, so we didn't really care, I think, by that point. So
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So I'm just saying, granted, that's a 5-year time skip compared to a 2-month time skip.
Yeah.
The point I'm just trying to make is that time skips can be done really well. But you kind of have to it's a weird balance. You have to make stuff change, because if nothing changes in that gap, it's kind of weird. The characters are still doing shit. They don't just pause because we're not watching them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't want to change too much, because then it's what the fuck? How come you completely change the characters off screen? We'll get to that when we fucking do the Disney Star Wars movies, Owen.
I feel like LVB did it well from season 5 to season 6. I thought they did that very well.
They did a good job. Yeah, we're it makes sense after the end of season 5. Project Freelancer would split everybody up. And where they all ended up makes sense based on who they are and shit like that.
Yeah,
that's a good example. So yeah, again, this time skip is real hit or miss. Like I said, I really like what they're doing with Natalie, Ben, and Lottie. Travis, again, I like that he's cool with Natalie now, and he's holding out hope for Javi. But again, it's really weird that he's being cool with all the spiritual shit, and that he's cool with everybody else after they try to kill him. I'm glad that Thais and Van are doing well. Again, they had a little bit of a fight last season, but they kind of made up.
Yeah.
Thais stopped just brushing off the supernatural shit to support Van. So I'm glad their relationship's going strong, but again, it's strange that Van is now in the attic with Taissa.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen a scene, maybe a flashback where we got to see why Van's made this decision, or them just tell us why she made this decision, type of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, basically they're sleeping, and then Taissa wakes up and starts to kiss Van. And Van is oh, you're all excited this early. But then Taissa starts to bite Van's lip really hard.
Yeah.
And that wakes Taissa up. And she's oh shit, what happened? And Van's listen, don't worry about it. And Taissa kind of pieces together that, and she's sleep, not even sleepwalking, sleep biting, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of went over this in season 1. Kind of sucks that this was a thing in the past, because it really makes it weird that Taissa didn't know she was the lady in the tree, or at least suspect it.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that a lot.
And also Tysa, and later, like, as we're going to see in the present, is, like, disturbed that she, like, cut off her dog's head. But, like, we're finding out here, whenever she sleepwalks, she's, like, violent. Like, she, like, fucking, like, started attacking Van.
Yeah.
So that's weird. So, like, again, like, she kind of knows she has, like, violent tendencies when she sleepwalks.
Also, it showed, like, because they were playing the, like, flick football. I forget what that's called. We saw that Van had, like, a skull, like, a bruise or something from, like, when Taisha bit her the night before type of thing. So.
Yeah, and I kind of talk, like, again, Tyson's like, oh my god, it's happening again. Like, I'm so sorry, listen, like, you shouldn't be up here with me, like, worried about you. But Van's being a really, really good girlfriend. I'm really liking Van in this episode.
Yeah.
Where she says, like, listen, I'm up here because I want to be up here. Like, it's fine. Like, you're not a monster. Like we're going to deal with this together. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Where she's, like, not making light of it, but she's just telling her, like, hey, listen, like, you're making it a bigger deal than it is. Like, we can handle this.
Yeah, definitely.
It just makes it more tragic because, again, we know Tyson Van aren't going to last.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. And, are they going to break up before they get rescued? Because obviously Taissa mentions that she went to college and everything like that, that she was... It's implied, anyways, that her and Van weren't a thing anymore and all that type of stuff. But...
Right, and they're both, like, they're, like, 17 now, and they're going to be out there for another year and a half, or, like, a year. So, obviously, by the time they're done, they're going to, like, be around college age.
Yeah.
So, yeah, patient is that, like, whatever relationship they have doesn't last when they get back.
But, we got a big moment.
I liked it.
You missed a big moment.
Did I?
Van and Taissa's blood writes on her arm that she loves, they have a lot...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I remember she did something with the blood. I couldn't remember. Yeah. So she takes her, like, bloody lip and writes "I love you" on her arm, and I like Taissa kind of just, like, laughs at it, like, "Oh God, this is the first time you're gonna drop the 'I love you'."
Right.
And that's pretty funny. And I like how Van's kind of, like, staring at her, and Taissa's like, "Okay, yeah, fine, I love you too." Again, it was really sweet.
And I think they were both being genuine. I think they were both being genuine too. It wasn't like a questionable thing type of thing.
Yeah, no. When I say Taissa was like, "Oh God, that's how you're gonna drop the 'I love you," she did it, like, comically. Like, she wasn't actually upset.
Right.
She was just kind of there, like, "Oh God, of all the times, you're gonna drop this. You're gonna drop it, like, here." So again, that's another reason why Van's a good girlfriend. Like, she kind of took the bad moment and, like, is, like, reassuring Taissa, like, "Listen, I love you. Like, I'm gonna take my own blood and write I love you. Like, it's fine."
And I feel like
again, in hindsight, the Van in the attic thing, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
I just wish they did something with it, but, like, the scene itself was fine.
I will say though, I am gonna come back to this scene though, because I liked the scene, but what they cut to it from a part in the present that was really weird. Like, oh, that was a weird cut, because they were doing some in the present, and then they go to this scene, and then they go back to that thing they were doing in the present, and they cut to this scene really weird from present to past type of thing. Yeah. Because it wasn't anything, it should have been something in the present that had to do with, like, Taissa, but it wasn't that at all. It was something that had to do with Natalie. So the way they cut to this scene was very weird. I'll just say that now.
Yeah. But yeah, and then, like, the last bit of the past section is catching up with Shauna, Misty, and a couple of characters. And by new, I mean they have not fucking been there before.
No.
I guess there was another plane crash nearby, and some new survivors fucking are hanging out with our Yellowjackets.
Maybe it's the other team they were supposed to face when they went to Nationals.
We called them? Yeah. The competing team also crashed. The Blue Sleeves.
The same area, I guess.
Yeah. Well, what are the odds? But yeah, Shauna is basically out in the shed, which I guess they had a shed. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it seems like that was new. They did that, like, there was no shed before. They added that this season.
Yeah. Yeah, but and then she's kind of just hanging out with Jackie, and it's like, oh, that's weird. But yeah, they're kind of just like talking, shooting the shit like they used to back when they were friends. But I do like we get like a hard cut of like Shauna just like talking to Jackie's corpse.
Yeah, because I think when we saw this originally, I think we were supposed to think that it was a flashback, and it wasn't when the corpse thing happened. I think because they were playing like a little quiz game, like you're gonna be like a stay-at-home wife type of thing with this much money, and when she mentions like Jeff, you're like, okay, wait, this is like current type of thing, like because why would she mention Jeff, like that something's not added up here type of thing. So
yeah. So basically, Shauna's going cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, and she's just like not dealing with the grief of Jackie well, and she's like imagining her corpse like as if it were still alive.
In a weird way, to compare it to
and we see. Oh, sorry, what's up?
To compare it to RVB, it's as if Shauna's in the Epsilon unit, remembering all the bad stuff about Jackie.
Yeah, you're right. That is kind of funny. Yeah. Fucking Shauna's reliving her memories. Yeah, legit. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking and you know what? We'll mention it now, I guess. In the trailer, you mentioned Elijah Wood was in the trailer, and I didn't notice it. You're like, do you know who Elijah Wood is? I'm like, I asked you that question because he shows up in RVB.
Yeah.
And then in the next 2 seasons, and we're like, what the fuck? Why do Yellowjackets and Red vs. Blue overlap? Like, they are not similar at all, but yet they seem to overlap way more than you think.
Because what I was thinking about when I was watching this scene is this is kind of, not just that, but this also kind of goes with Epsilon message at the end of Season 8, you know, where he mentions that if I'm going to be trapped here, I'm going to be trapped in a good memory. Shauna's not taking Epsilon's message very well because she's only remembering the bad memories right now. So
yeah, I do like it, and we see that continues in the future where adult Shauna was in her room, and she like imagined Jackie like as a teenager, and basically like saying like, okay, so what happened was totally your fault.
Yeah. So I like that this is kind of like young Shauna having to experience that now immediately.
Yeah. So again, continuing like knowing what happened in the future. It's sad knowing that basically like Shauna isn't going to get over this like for decades. Like this feeling that like Jackie always blamed her and always is like mocking her. Like that's never going to go away, basically.
Yeah, because it so hasn't.
Yeah. So because I was thinking like, oh cool, I'm interested to see how Shauna resolves this, but I'm like, oh yeah, right. We know she hasn't resolved it in her like 40s. Right. So I'm like, damn, sucks.
I do like this too because it's like it's Shauna not really having a conversation with Jackie. It's like her conscience, more or less.
Because because they're bringing up topics that like are directly making Shauna guilty. Because she's having like past like her vision of Jackie. Like ask her, what happened with Jeff? Like when did it start? When did he start like hooking up behind my back? And Shauna explained that like it was one of the million times they were on break. They did mention that in episode 1 of season 1.
Yeah,
like Shauna and Jeff would like break up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like that. So like it's still shitty, but like I kind of like that like Shauna basically made her move when Jeff and Jackie weren't technically dating anymore.
Right.
Like it's still shitty because she can assume they're gonna get back together, and like it's still just shitty anyway to like if they never got back together to like date your best friend ex.
I mean, Sweet Life of Zach and Cody mentioned it's just a joke, but Zach mentions like those rules against those things, and he's that's actually I don't think there's rules. It's kind of unwritten rules where you kind of don't do this type of thing. So
yeah, exactly. It's just like an etiquette thing. Yeah, and I think the really fucked up thing is we're trying to explain like okay, they were at a party, the cops showed up, they all bailed. Jeff and Shauna were just like they happened to like run away together from the party, and her like vision of Jackie like oh so that's when Jeff kissed you, and then Shauna gives her like a guilty look, and Jackie's like oh no so you kissed him,
right?
And again like you said. It's like this isn't actually Jackie. It's a fucking ghost rating. This is Jackie, but it's like Shauna's conscience, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Shauna's thoughts of Jackie, like bringing up topics that Shauna feels guilty about.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this is nice to know that, like, okay, so the one who started it was Shauna.
Yeah, because as
you kind of piece that together. Because in episode 1, when they slept together in the car. It was pretty much Shauna who like instigated it.
Yeah, because Jeff didn't want to do it like in episode 1. So, and obviously this kind of, as we're gonna see later, Shauna goes back to this behavior again in the present. So
Yeah. And then what we get with Shauna like after this kind of continues the idea that like again, it's not even really like she was in love with Jeff. It's that like her getting with Jeff was more about Jackie than anything.
yeah,
Because basically Shauna like touches Jackie's corpse and the ear falls off. Like she's falls over, like the ear snaps off because it's freezing out. She's been a corpse for 2 months.
yeah, because she froze to death too.
Picks up the ear and like trying to like place it back on. And I like that again, like a piece of Jackie breaking off, and like she's a doll. It's kind of like Shauna's having trouble continuing, like to like keep Jackie like whole and like here with her.
Yeah.
And it continues the guilt because it's Shauna breaking Jackie. Get it? Because obviously, she like they had that big fight and like that resulted in Jackie dying.
And then they had like a fight here. Shauna's questioning, and trying to comprehend with the fact that she can never really make it right, type of thing. So Shauna can't fix it, type of thing, because Jackie breaking off and she can't put it back together. Like she can never fix.
Yeah, you're right. She can't fix it. Like she broke things and like she can never put it back.
Yeah.
But she holds on to that ear. Because she can't fix Jackie, she can't make things right. She holds on to that piece of Jackie, and then what does she do? She fucking wolfs it down. Like I don't mean she literally just like she with so much effort eats it. And so basically the idea is like, well, because remember what Jackie said at the end of season 1, that, like Shauna, you want to be me.
Yeah.
Like, you live in my shed, you want to be me. So it's like, yeah, Shauna is like consuming Jackie, like she's trying to become Jackie.
I think too, not just that, she's trying to like, maybe clear her conscience, like her eating the ear is trying to come to cold to the conscience, and everything like that. Because obviously she feels guilty and she's trying to eat her guilt and all that type of stuff, like away and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's a mix of things. It is like a million different emotions Shauna's going through. So it is pretty interesting.
You did ask me off camera a few days ago if the crew, the other people in the on the show, knew that like whether or not Shauna kept Jackie. Now on a rewatch, you've seen that is the case because when they get asked about it, one of the characters mentions like, oh, she's just having like a moment with Jackie in there, and so I think your question did get answered that the other people, the other Yellowjacket members do know that that Jackie's body's still like there and everything like that, like that it hasn't been dealt with and all that type of stuff. So
yeah, well, of course they know Jackie's body's in there.
Wasn't that your question? I thought that was your question that you asked me. Like, do they know?
No, my question was like, so I know she's in there. They know she's in there because they talk about Shauna going and like speaking to her every day. My question was why they were keeping her in there. Like, my question was like, okay, are they like planning on eating her? Because I'm assuming they're gonna eat her. They were like literally like, okay, we're gonna keep her in there as our food source.
If I had to make a guess, I'm gonna guess because they don't probably know what to do with the body at the moment.
And that's what I didn't know if they were like because there's like fucking snow everywhere. I didn't know if they were like, okay, we can't bury her.
Yeah.
Or like okay, we're gonna eat her. Like I didn't. I knew that they knew.
Okay.
That Jackie. My question was like, were they keeping her in there to like eat her later?
I'm gonna guess no. I'm gonna guess that they just didn't know what to do with Jackie's body post passing, since it's the winter and everything like that.
Okay. Yeah, that was my. Because I was about to say, we get everybody's like reaction to Shauna like going out there. So we're finding out that pretty much every day the last 2 months, Shauna's been going out to the where Jackie's body, and like speaking to her like she's alive. Because of course, from Shauna's perspective, she's like hallucinating that Jackie's alive.
Yeah.
But if everybody is fucking talking to a corpse.
I didn't really like that everyone was just kind of like, it's been like 2 months, get over it type of thing, you know, because you don't get over.
Say, well, everybody in this fucking cabin is a fucking nut job.
Yeah.
Because last season, again, everybody was pissed at Jackie for like sleeping with Travis when they all fucking hunted Travis down.
Yeah.
Tied him up, tried to fucking cut his neck. But everyone was like, Jackie, you tried to sleep with Travis even though he was single. Unbelievable. How dare you, Jackie?
I just didn't like
And now everybody here is like, oh my god, her best friend died? How about fucking get over it, bitch?
Like, you don't get over something like that, especially that in 2 months. I mean...
Yeah, well, well, I'm like, you know, they're not even like that. Like, I think Ben was kind of like somber about it. He's like, oh, she's with Jackie again. But one of the random background characters is like, oh god, you know, I wonder what they're talking about. Oh, I bet they're talking about their jock boyfriends. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, it's like
they're making jokes about how Shauna is like not coping with the death of her best friend.
Like, obviously she's not going to cope with it well, especially with the circumstances that she died. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like,
again, I was just waiting for, like, when Travis was having his panic attack, for one of these random-ass background characters who were not in season 1 to be like, oh, boo-hoo, cry me a river, did your brother die one and your dad's dead too, so fucking get over it.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe your mommy's dead too, maybe she fucking killed herself, well, because she thought all of you three were dead. You know?
Yeah, it's so messed up. Like, these background characters, I guess...
These background characters are fucking heartless.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if these background characters, if they were here before, they would have resorted to cannibalism immediately, I think. That's...
Oh, yeah. Listen, I would have loved it if, you know, they get to that scene, I'm assuming, again, later, they're like, okay, guys, we've come to this hard decision. We have to eat Jackie. It's the only way to live. And then we just see, like the background characters, like, being like, oh, we ate Jackie, like, a month ago. Like, were we not supposed to?
It's that scene from Family Guy where they clown Mount Everest and...
I was just thinking of that, where, like, they're on Mount Everest and they're, like, thinking about eating that kid.
And
then Peter, like, starts eating his arm. He's like, oh, sorry, I thought we already did that.
That's them.
Yeah, like, no fucks given. They're like, oh, they're, like, just ready.
I think your joke's better, though, when they said, oh, yeah, we did that, like, 3 months... We ate it, like, 3 months ago, type of thing. So,
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because she's only been dead 2 months. Like you said, 3 months. Like,
Yeah, they ate her while she was alive.
I think while living too, that'd be better. Like while she's living.
Right? Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, but again, people are fucking heartless. But as I mentioned, it wasn't just Ben commenting on it. We get 3.
Before that, because I feel like you're ending... Because that's kind of the end of the Shauna thing. I like the Shauna stuff. It was kind of good follow-up to the Jackie stuff type of thing.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned it on camera. I think I mentioned it to you off camera. In season 1, I did not care for Shauna. Like, as a character, I wasn't interested in her. And I thought she was just, like, annoying to, like, deal with.
Yeah.
Like, I understood her, kind of. But, like, it was kind of in a weird way where, like, Thaisa, Natalie, and Misty were kind of, like, self-aware of how they were fucked up.
Yeah.
Whereas Shauna was just, like... Well, again, she was so sarcastic and mean to everybody.
Are we talking about present-day Shauna or past Shauna?
More present than
okay.
past.
Because now... I thought we were talking about past here, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, because I was going to just say, like, Shauna in general. Where, and, you know, present-day Shauna here, in this episode, I'm still kind of just like, I don't really care about her. I don't really like her. She's easily my least favorite in the show so far. But,
I mean, I just kind of watch it, nothing against the actress or anything like that. I can't believe in season 1 she won, like, best main actor and support, like, in a TV show. I'm like...
Oh, that... Yeah. Again, she does a good job, but, like, I mean, I feel like Natalie and Misty and Thaisa, like, do a better job easily.
Well, not just that, but also it was the same season. It was the same year that the finale of...
I should say, again, the actors are hired to do a job, and like Thaisa, Natalie, and Misty have better material to work with.
Right. Well, it's not even just that, but I mean, this is going way off topic. The same year, Better Call Saul had its final season. I'm like, unless Bob.
Oh, well, okay, yeah, no, Better Call Saul went a fucking no, okay, that's not a comparison.
Yeah.
No, Better Call Saul won that easily.
Especially because Bob Odenkirk has to basically play the same character in like 3 different ways, pretty much, if you think about it too. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I haven't even seen the last season of Better Call Saul, but just from Better Call Saul, like what I have seen of Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, like no, he should have won that easily. That's not even like no what. Yeah. Okay, that's bullshit.
Oh my gosh, like Better Call Saul got screwed every year, and it's never won an Emmy, which is just insane.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
Again, I'm only up to 2 or 3 Better Call Saul, but like I'm already like that show deserved at least something. You know, that show's great.
I mean, the Emmys are just a bunch of poppy bullshit, anyways, type of thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I never talk about the Oscars or the Emmys. Like it's all bought out anyway.
Anyhow, going back to so yeah, overall, I liked the Shauna plot.
Anyway, as I was in the middle of shitting on Shauna, I was going to point out that like this is the first thing in a while that has made me interested in Shauna, and I'm like where she's like hallucinating Jackie out in the shed, and she takes the ear and like eats it. Like that's a very fucked up thing. But like it's interesting. I'm like, okay, I'm really like I'm invested in that. Like I'm hoping they really do something with that. I want to like Shauna. She's like the main character. Again, I just found her like annoying and uninteresting, which is like the worst. Because you can hate characters, but like still be interested in them. You know, like of course plenty of villains where I'm like, oh, they're so bad but good. You know.
Yeah.
Where with Shauna, I'm just like I'm not interested in her. And I just don't like her.
Right.
But like this episode for Pat Shauna has like made me interested in her. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm hoping that this season will like turn me around on Shauna.
Yeah, overall I like the stuff they did with Shauna. The hallucinated with Jackie. I thought that was good. That was kind of a good way for her to like still cope with the death, with the time skip. It's probably my second favorite thing they did in the past type of thing. Now let's get to probably both of our least favorite things, because we're talking about background characters and all that type of stuff. These heartless background characters. Well, there's a notable person that was we mentioned too. They were never here before. There's someone that shows up here that wasn't here before, but it happened.
Yeah. So a big thing last season we were doing was we were trying to keep track of like how many people survived the plane crash. Because when they were going from the crash to the cabin, it seemed like there was a good amount of them. But then, like every scene after that, like it would only be like the main characters, like in scenes, like discussing shit, and maybe you might see like 1 or 2 in the background.
Yeah, I think they've mentioned reasons for that. They were coming off the pandemic, so obviously they couldn't get like a big background characters. Like fair enough. But yeah, they fuck up.
Yeah. Again, I mean, of course, I understand it, but it's still a flaw in the show, I feel like.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
That's upper head count. And then again, it's pretty obvious that, like, we're only going to see the main characters. When, like, the 2 characters who, like, were just in the background went with Thaisa and Van to the woods, and, like, they became actual characters, and they were allowed to speak now.
Right. And
then from that point on, they were like hanging out with the main cast, like they've been there the whole time. They've always been there. Shut up.
Right.
And like that's pretty obvious. And then I mean here it's just egregious because now we get 3 characters sitting on a table, like just hanging out while Ben is talking about Shauna in the shed with Jackie.
And I think here it's egregious too, also because a season later, so like we should have had this established by now too. So.
Right. And then again, they're like, this one girl is like just humming and singing, and people are like, Crystal's like, shut up. And again, if they say her name, they call her Crystal like 3 times to hammer it, and they all speak to her to again establish like, this is Crystal, guys. She's been here the whole time. Everybody knows her. She's been here the whole time. When you watch season 1, she was definitely there. Actually, don't watch season 1. Just take our word for it. She was in season 1.
I think what's funny about this too is. Yeah, she was never there. Not just that, but when Natalie was going through like that picture during the reunion, she wasn't there either type of thing. So it's just like
Yeah, well, again, that was actually something we liked in the season 1 finale, where we got like a team picture.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like, okay, we got like a better head count. It's like, okay,
No, we
it seems like
didn't, I
there's about
guess.
15 to 16 girls on the team.
I guess we didn't get a better head count because they forgot Crystal, I guess. So
Yeah.
maybe Crystal missed photo. Yeah. Maybe Crystal missed picture day that day. Maybe she was sick.
And again, Crystal's the only one we get named, but like we like 2 other background characters we've never seen before spoke,
Right.
like at the table. So like obviously they're going to be characters now. Like literally, that is the rule of the show. If like the random background character who was never there before like starts speaking to like the main characters, now they're a main character. Now they're going to actually like speak and be involved in the meetings and shit.
Right.
And again, I feel like it was an issue because whenever they like big meetings amongst the group, like it would only be the named characters who speak. Like anybody else would just not be there.
This was probably the worst case of it, where we had someone that was never in season 1, and this person was like named, and she had like a big introduction this season and everything like that. So.
Yeah. And now it's obvious that she's going to be like a character. She's going to be a thing. You know, she has never spoken. She wasn't at the Doom Coming. She wasn't involved with Travis. Just nothing.
Nothing.
And again, I get it. You know, like you're in a situation where you can't really introduce new characters because what the fuck is, you know, is somebody going to hitchhike into the cabin and be like, "Hi guys, can I just like stay here now?"
Right.
Like obviously you're limited to who was in the plane crash. But yeah, again, I mean, that's just, yeah, because it just makes me feel like, okay, now they can just introduce fucking a million characters whenever they want.
Yeah.
And it was just, they were there the whole time.
I feel like it's just going to make it bad to, if they do this every season, just because, you know, because if they, especially if they pull the bullshit where they will lie, where they end up living. It's like, well, why would we gonna care about these people? Why were they never mentioned before? Like that was kind of the Lottie issue type of thing.
Yeah, and I feel like this is the thing. I feel like they're going to introduce characters to kill because for now we know pretty much every character that we've met so far survives.
Yeah.
At least that's so. Shauna, Misty, Kaisa, not Van.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Misty, Shauna. They live to the present. We obviously know Travis lives to the present and then dies.
Yeah.
Obviously Lottie.
Yeah.
Lauren are already picked up, so we know they're gone. So it's like the only characters that you have left to kill off are Ben and Javi, and then Van. But we'll get to that when we get to it.
We will.
Yeah. So yeah, like obviously you have to introduce characters to because we know more people die.
And I feel like if you keep doing this, no one's gonna give a crap when we get to like season 3 and they do this again, type of thing. So,
yeah, that's my thing. So like, it's already pretty bad. They already did it here. But like, I'm just worried it's gonna become a trend.
Yeah,
that it's like, oh fuck, we have characters that we want to the audience to not know if they're gonna live or die. What should we do? Well, just introduce people who've been there the whole time.
I mean, I know Better Call Saul does this, because they introduce characters that we don't see in Breaking Bad and stuff. But I think that is fine, just because one, it's about the journey there, and I don't really think I feel like Better Call Saul doesn't shy away from the fact that this person's not gonna it's kind of implied that they don't live. And they also introduce characters that weren't in Breaking Bad, so it makes their appearance even more surprising and everything like that.
Yeah, that's the thing with prequels, because obviously the characters in a prequel, the ones who show up in the originals, they obviously live. No one watched Better Call Saul thinking oh God, is Mike, Saul, and Gus gonna die?
Right.
Obviously they already knew they were in Breaking Bad. So yeah, again, so you have to be smart about it. You have to create tension in other ways. And again, that creates that anticipation of oh shit, because that was a big thing with Saul was he starts off as a pretty decent guy, and then it's oh fuck, things are going to go wrong for him. Things don't turn out good. So it's what happened to make him the sleazeball we seen in Breaking Bad.
I think too an issue is introducing a new character who was never in Yellowjackets before, during the plane crash, and we know they don't make it in the present, it can only end one. There's only one result for that. Like with Better Call Saul, there's multiple, and other stuff. There's multiple results in Yellowjacket.
Yeah. Or I guess because Owen hasn't seen the Star Wars prequels yet, but like again, I mean this applies for all prequels. Like you already know characters like Obi-Wan live because they're in the originals,
right?
But the idea is like, okay, well, what happened to get him to where he was in the originals, or Darth Vader? The whole point of the prequels is seeing him become Darth Vader. So it's that like tragedy of like, oh fuck, I know things fucking turned shitty for this guy.
Yeah.
So the tension isn't in does he die? It's in how did he become the fucking monster we know he becomes. And then, you have other characters who you don't know their fate, You have other characters where I'm like, oh, did he live to the present? Or he just, like, he was doing something else? Or, like, well, he didn't, or this character, it's like, oh, fuck, like, obviously he would have been in the originals because he's super important. So the fact that he isn't, like, we know he's going to die, but it's like, how?
Also,
there's ways to do it. This show it seems like they're kind of missing on that a bit.
Yeah. Also, you introduce the new character and everything like that. It seems like they're just doing it to like up the kill count for the plane crash more so than introduce the characters.
I got really wordy with it, but that's basically like the problem. It's like, well, one, it's like, okay, so Crystal either lives or dies. If she's living, it's like, oh great, another character we know fucking lives. Like as if we didn't have enough of that already.
Yeah.
Or you're introducing her, like you said, just to up the kill count, to like artificially add stakes.
Yeah.
So that was the problem with introducing so many characters who we already know are alive present day.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's only a couple now that like we don't know. So.
Because obviously it was the main four, which is fine. But then you had a couple other characters like we didn't know about Ben, Javi. We didn't know Travis for the first couple episodes. Van. But they kind of just slowly whittled that list down even more.
Yeah, because then the more you whittle it down, it doesn't make the plane crash actually seem like that big of a deal. If more people keep coming back, if more people keep living from it too, and everything like that, it's like okay, so this plane crash didn't really. I mean, psychologically, I'm sure you guys are messed up. You had to do a bunch of messed up stuff, but it doesn't make it feel like a big deal if a lot of people live.
Well, did they have to do messed up stuff? Because again, we're getting to the assumption they're gonna have to like kill and eat each other. But like, it seems like everybody that we fucking care about is alive.
Right.
So it's like, it's a difference between like, oh god, if Natalie had to like kill Travis, damn, that's fucked up. They're so close. Or like, it had to kill Ben. She's formed a friendship with this guy. But if Natalie has to fucking kill background Yellowjacket number 35, it's like, oh no, boo-hoo, anyways. Let's move on with my day.
And again, Crystal just being around insults the fans' intelligence like we've talked about because she wasn't in season 1. Yeah,
it's just super plain. You were not there. You were not present for any of this shit. I said it to Owen in Red vs. Blue, the season 5 ultimate ending, where like Church wakes up back in season 1, it was all a dream. He's like, oh, I said the weirdest dream. Tucker, you were there. Caboose, you were there, and it cuts to the third guy where he's like, hey Church, was I in your dream? He's like, no, sorry man, I guess I just forgot about you.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like what happened.
Literally what it feels like. Donna wakes up and she's like, oh, Natalie, you were there? Thaisa, you were there? And fucking Crystal's like, was I there, Sean? No, Crystal, sorry, I guess I just forgot about you.
Right. And they add like I feel like what's annoying is she has a big character trait that like because her big thing is sitting. Everyone tells her to stop sitting. She's like, you do this all the time. It's like, we haven't heard it. Where's your sitting?
Was she? All right. I mean, when she had Doom coming fucking singing it up, I certainly didn't hear it.
Yeah. But
and everybody was on shrooms. I'm like, okay, was she hunting down Travis or not?
That's the thing, too. Yeah, I guess, is like...
And I'm like, okay, who was involved with the whole Travis thing? Was it just the 3 people we saw? Or was it fucking, like, more people and they just weren't there and we just couldn't see them?
I know, because that's going to become an issue then, too. If you keep introducing new people, like, were these people involved in this stuff or were they not? Were they just doing their own thing type of thing? Like, you have to kind of,
And again, it's a small cabin. There's not really many places to go. So, like, That's the alarm. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, this is a small cabin. Like, there isn't really room to hide these new characters who have been here the whole time.
Yeah, I feel like so these new the fact that they add new characters, I think it's. I hope they don't make this a trend, but it's still an issue. It's still an issue, though. So
it was an issue with the two background characters halfway through season 1. I forget their names. I don't give a shit.
right.
But it was egregious with Crystal here, and I mean it's also egregious because, like I said, there's two other background characters who were like sitting next to her, who like obviously they're going to become characters.
I think too you could kind of get away with it in season 1 because they were outside most of the time. Season 2 you can't because they're inside most of the time, type of thing. So.
Right. Exactly. But yeah. So that was and that ended up being a longer rant than I expected. But like I was bitching to Owen about this back when I first saw this episode, like 2 months ago. That was like one of the main things. I think I texted you, being like, "Okay, it's bullshit that Crystal's there. Like she did not exist.
No.
In season. She fucking spawned there. She just fucking body with her fucking demon powers created her.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I believe it more than she just hasn't said anything the whole time. But yeah, Misty. Everyone's still kind of shitting on Misty. I keep saying shitting on like that's literally what they're doing, but no, they're just being mean to Misty because of the the Doom coming incident. Like they're not letting her touch the food that they're cooking. Again, I should specify. It's not like they're not letting her eat. They're just not letting her touch the food when it's being prepared.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, Misty, go to the lake and get some water." She's like, "I just did it like the last 3 times. And it's freezing." And they all kind of just like stare at her and they're basically just like bullying her. Which, to be honest, Misty was always kind of like the outcast. So it kind of just, like obviously Misty fucked up the Doom coming. But I kind of get the vibe, especially because with how fucking mean everybody is, I kind of get the vibe that, like, everybody would have done this to Misty anyway. They were kind of just, like, looking for a reason to, like, bully Misty into doing the shit they don't want to do.
I guess so, yeah. I also see it as a way, like, I feel like, too, Misty kind of deserves this because she fucked up so much at the Doom Coming.
No, she deserved it. I mean, they don't even know about the tracker thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm just saying, like, Misty deserves it, but I'm saying, I feel like because she was always like the team outcast, like even if Misty did something that wasn't like as big of a fuck up as it was, I probably would have done this to her anyway. They were probably like, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah,
because she wasn't even like you said, a soccer player originally. She was like the equipment manager and all that type of stuff. So
yeah, like nobody didn't really like Misty anyway, and like they all thought she was like weird.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. Obviously spiking everybody's shit with mushrooms is pretty bad. And I don't really feel bad for her here. Yeah. But, like, I'm just saying, I feel like even if her fuck up was, like, something, like, use it as an excuse to, like, bully her, essentially.
I agree.
Yeah. But, yeah, Misty goes outside, and she's, like, getting in the water, and Crystal ends up going outside to, like, sing. And Misty tells her to shut the fuck up. And it was kind of nice seeing Misty get so mad. Because, she's normally, like, a psycho, but she does it with, like, a smile on her face, and she acts nice.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to just see Misty just, like, snap at somebody and be like, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because I think she's had enough of being treated like shit, so,
Yeah. But Crystal's actually being pretty nice to her. And again, makes me wonder where the fuck Crystal's been this whole time. But yeah, it seems like Crystal and Misty are, like, striking up a friendship.
I like this, too, because, originally Misty is being, like, very submissive towards, Crystal, doesn't want to, like, deal with her and all that type of stuff. But then when Crystal actually is trying to be a friend, like, give her sitting lessons and everything like that, Misty's, like, interested, like, showing, like, hey, someone's actually wanting to be a friend for me. Or maybe Misty's just, like, thinking, where the hell were you last season? It could have been that, too, type of thing.
Misty's like, well, again, like we brought up, it's like, was Crystal involved in Doom coming? Like, is she upset with Misty about spiking everybody with mushrooms?
I guess not.
I guess, hey, 2 months is a long time. I guess she got over it. If Travis can get over everybody hunting him down and trying to murder him, then, Crystal can get over Misty spiking him with mushrooms.
That's also, like, really weird, too. That just shows everyone's character, by the way, then, that, like, if Travis can get over everyone hunting him, why can't everyone else just get over, like, Misty drugging them, I guess.
I know, right? Well, again, like I said, everybody's priorities are fucking weird. Where everybody's like, yeah, listen, we might have tried to murder Travis, but you slept with Travis, so like clearly you're the villain here.
Right.
Like, okay.
That's pretty much everything with the past. Overall, I thought everything in the past was solid. You know, you got to kind of find out what everyone's kind of doing now and everything like that. You didn't really get much. Like, they kind of did stuff with Harvey, but the biggest thing I think everyone had wanted is what was the thing at the end with Lottie, Misty, and Van. You didn't really get anything from that. Nothing really was acknowledged from this episode, or it was kind of a disappointment. I'm not saying they had to do anything big. The biggest thing was that this Lottie was just kind of taking the reins, but we didn't really get anything from like that thin. It just kind of seemed like, you know.
Yeah, because it was weird because it seemed like Misty and Van ended up being like her like more faithful followers from the end of last season, whereas you know obviously Van and Misty don't have any scenes with Lottie in this episode.
Not even Van and Misty had any scenes together in this episode.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was a little That was a little disappointing. I would have liked some type of follow up with that.
Cast is overall solid for me. Again, the stuff with Travis and Crystal kind of bring it down quite a bit, but like overall, you know, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just like overall, it's like I feel like they could have done more with the time skip.
Yeah,
you know, if you're gonna like something like that. That was the season we had. That was a problem in season 1.
Yeah,
like the time skip like issue.
There's actually a big thing you missed in the past. The tree. Do you remember the tree?
Oh, right. Like, doesn't like Lottie get like a vision of like a tree stump or something?
Yeah, and then we see the like the tree stump in like at the end, towards the end, and it's like. There's like snow around it, and like that tree's like fine, not really damaged or anything from the snow. It's like.
Oh yeah, it was pretty small. I'm not assuming that's gonna be important, but like it's kind of just like, oh yeah, I don't really know what to make of that.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that either, and I'm pretty sure when we saw this tree before, this was the tree that maybe they were around. I
don't know, because before it was like a hollow tree stump, and this one, and like it had.
So.
And this one, like all the snow is like around it, like it seems like it's like a like a spring tree stump. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know what to make of it. I'm assuming you've seen season 2, so you probably know what it's about. But for me, I just it.
Because like Natalie questioned it and everything like that, and Travis kind of didn't know what to make of it. But like, did Travis get the vision too? Or I'm not sure what happened, type of thing. So.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm assuming because we're still not sure if like the supernatural shit is real.
Yeah.
You know, or coincidences. So I mean, you know, the tree could be supernatural. I don't know.
But yeah, that was the past though. We have a whole other timeline to talk about. We got the present.
That alarm went off for like when we were going to end the video. That didn't end up happening. We're halfway through it.
That's what happens when because of Crystal. It's all Crystal's fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to be talking for a while. You know, the first thing we see in the present is, and the first big story that I'll be talking about is, what's the fallout of Adam's death? You know, because the last time we heard about this, yeah.
Where are you? Around every corner. I'll search near and far.
Because you know, Adam was on the news last time saying he went missing, type of thing. What happened with that? Well,
fucking that day he went missing. Everybody's like, "Where's Adam?"
He's not here to interrupt us at a important moment, type of thing. So,
well, as we're gonna find out, Elijah Wood himself, star of Lord of the Rings, is fucking so desperate to find Adam.
Yeah.
You know, like Adam's been missing for a day, and somebody's on Reddit being like, "I know what happened." Like, I pieced it together.
But you know, let's wait till we get there. First, though,
Elijah Wood, because I feel like that's what Nier did. He read the script and figured out Mikami was the new Kira.
Well, let's find out. Let me talk about it. But first, though, you know, to kind of deal with Adam's death, we see that. The first thing we see in the present is Shauna is, you know, at the police being questioned. about Adam's murder and everything like that. But we find out that this is a mock interview. This isn't real. It's really just, Misty, like, sitting in the background, and, she's using, like, a distorted voice through, like, an app on her phone to, like, pretend to be, like, a detective agent and all that type of stuff. You pick up on this pretty quick because, the interview isn't real kind of immediately, because one of the questions that gets asked is like, why did you murder, Adam? And then later on you hear like, Shauna will say like, I didn't kill him. And then the person's like, I didn't say he was killed. And, you pick up that it's like not a real interview type of thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird because Misty kind of, because she asked why she was murdered. It's like, but I never said you killed him type of thing. So it was weird. But it's Misty. You have to kind of just overlook that. Yeah. But Misty's just kind of prepping Shauna about what to do in case she does get questioned, basically saying that, like, you never talk to the police. You always say you want a lawyer if you're guilty type of thing. And Shauna just kind of doesn't want to deal with this, basically saying that, kind of confirming to Misty, saying that, we were careful, right? Like, we did everything we were supposed to do. And, she makes mention, too, that Taissa and Natalie don't show up. Obviously, this becomes a thing because she mentioned she tried to, like, call Natalie and stuff, and that kind of, Misty ends up doing this episode, so that tied in. I like to how Misty just keeps going like, no, we missed something. Something didn't go right. And I'm going to be like, Misty, I think you were the thing that didn't go right. You were supposed to make it look like he was on a vacation. You didn't do a good job of that. Like,
all right. Yeah. With Shauna, this is kind of what I mean a bit when she annoys me. So I guess she doesn't want to deal with Misty. But, like, Shauna, you're just... So Misty is like, something doesn't feel right, like, did you, like, throw out everything? And she's like, yeah. And then Misty's like, oh, you hesitating. She's like, Misty, you're overthinking it. And then we find out she didn't get rid of everything. I'm like, Shauna, you are actually fucking stupid.
Yep.
I don't know if she's doing it on purpose, but she kept his ID,
yep.
his keys, the drawings he made of her. I'm like, Shauna. I'm like, okay. So this has to be, like, on purpose, right? Like, a part of Shauna, like, deep down in her subconscious, like, wants to get caught or something. Because I'm like, there's literally no way you're gonna, like, bitch at Misty that, like, you're overthinking it. We did everything perfectly. And then you fucking kept, and she also said she burned the journals. She did not burn the journals.
She did not. But
I'm like, again, and then Callie, like, I'm sure you'll get to that. But she's like distraught, and she's like, Mom, like, that your guy you were dating, like, he's on the news dead. Like what the fuck happened? Like, she's like, good job to Callie's actress. She's like tearing up, like her like eyes are red. Like, it really seems like she's like distraught over this. Like, she thinks her mom's a murderer.
Right.
And Sean's like, yeah. Like, I guess she doesn't really like Callie. But, like, you figure as her mom, she would kind of, like, I don't know, like, hug her or, like, do more to reassure her. Like, listen, honey, like, everything's fine. Like, I didn't do anything.
Right.
She's just kind of like, yeah, he died. That sucks, I guess. And I'm like, Shauna, can you, like, be... what is wrong with you?
Show emotion, yeah. Like, do something. Like, but yeah, so yeah.
Just, like, I don't know. I get Shauna. I've talked about it before. It seems like Shauna's kind of like a sociopath. She just, like, doesn't really care about people. But I'm like, Shauna, you could, like, fake it a little bit. Like, you're just coming off as dumb.
I mean, she almost caused Natalie to commit suicide in the season finale, so...
Yeah, literally. So, I mean, it's, like, dumb in an unrealistic way, you know?
Yeah. But, yeah, so...
Or she kept the journals because, she figured, like, no one would find it. She kept it in a safe. And it was something she couldn't really let go of. But, like, literally everybody shit on her for keeping them. They're like, what the fuck, you kept journals?
Well, as we find out,
so you figure out she murdered a guy over this. She literally murdered the guy she was sleeping with.
Yeah.
Over this. So you figure, okay, now she's going to get rid of it. Yeah,
but yeah, okay. So... yeah, as we find out, Shauna, she did hesitate, but because she actually didn't get rid of it. So Sean and Misty, separate. That's the last they see of each other this episode. And during all of this, Misty goes on to like a chat service where all of the like the FBI who like the people who are like are really into this stuff. She goes into like a chat room. And sees like people commented on Adam's death and everything like that, and one of them makes mention that he finds it kind of funny that Adam bought all this stuff, maybe thinking that he met somebody or something like that, so kind of piecing together the murder, and Misty immediately dislikes that, and she talks to Caligula and says he's just grasping at straws. I think Misty got a little upset because basically Elijah Wood, who this is kind of cool because you don't notice this if you watch this the first time, but you kind of notice it again. The guy that because when Misty's reading this, you hear it as Elijah Wood's voice type of thing, which is pretty cool. We don't know his kid, and this is cool because obviously he becomes a kid. He becomes a kid, not Elijah Wood, but his actor is going to be a character in this show.
No, the character is him. He plays Elijah Wood. Fucking star of Lord of the Rings.
That'd be awesome.
Elijah Wood's a Redditor. My God, what the world has come to.
But yeah, so it's so he becomes a character in the show, so it's kind of cool that they revealed that type of thing here.
I would love it if in a future episode, Misty's like, "Oh my God, Elijah Wood, it's you," and he's like, "Yeah." So want to watch my scenes in Red versus Blue?
That'd be awesome, because it's 2021. Yeah, but this is kind of cool too because the whole reason, Elijah Wood's really good friends with the actress that plays Melanie Lewinsky, the actress that plays Shauna, and also Christina Ricci, Misty's actress, and Elijah Wood did a project together before. So this is kind of cool that he's in the show now and everything like that. So yeah. So there's not, there's more of a connection with Elijah Wood and everything like that, which is kind of funny because he's probably a bigger actor than all of them is combined, probably. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just kind of funny to think that he's friends with some of the people in the show, has worked with them type of thing. So but it is kind of cool that they set up Elijah Wood's character early and everything like that. And if this scene's not a one-off, it shows that it does kind of suck that they use Elijah Wood's voice because it kind of gives away that this isn't going to be a one-off. It would be kind of cool.
Oh, I mean, I didn't even recognize it until you mentioned it. But yeah, I guess if you're somebody who is better at noticing actor faces and voices, you're going to pick up on that. There's no way they got fucking Elijah Wood just to do one line.
Right. That'd be funny if that was the case though, type of thing.
Misty captured Elijah Wood and put him in the fucking dungeon with the reporter. You will record this one line. It's okay, just let me go.
Yeah. I think it's kind of, but yeah, so I think this is kind of cool. And I gotta say, the actors and stuff have some real good commitment when it comes to I like to think, because they made a Reddit page around Adam's death and everything like that, and the call of IDs and stuff, when you see Misty's phone, she's still trying to call Natalie, they actually has it in call logs and everything, which is pretty cool. But continuing,
but also, I mean, again, kind of continuing the flaw of last time, where it's he was on the news fucking immediately, and now it's again, he already has people on Reddit that try to piece together how he disappeared.
I mean,
and the guy was able to find his bank account statements on what he was buying.
Yeah.
And you can't even say it's been a little while since then because Callie literally mentioned to Shauna, your boyfriend was on the news the other day.
Right. I mean, I think that the Reddit thing is not an issue because people are pretty dedicated when it comes to that stuff.
On it, but it continues the idea of why? How was he on the news already?
Yeah. But again, because he was on the...
Misty did a shitty job making it look like he went on vacation.
Right. So Missy's... but continuing, so... Yeah, so Shauna comes home. We see Callie with her boyfriend. They're watching some type of NTV challenge. And, Callie isn't really being very responsive to Shauna, which makes sense. Callie tells her boyfriend to leave because she has to study for like a biology test, and Shauna's kind of trying to ask because obviously it was pretty immediate, and she kind of like bluntly told him to leave and everything like that. She wasn't really into like the boyfriend and everything like that. He did have a name, by the way. His name was Kyle, so we can't add him to the list, unfortunately. Yeah, but Callie's saying that she may have to break up with him. And then she kind of, takes a shot at Shauna, saying that, like, but maybe I'll just get lucky and he'll just disappear and die, and it'll be on the news type of thing. And Shauna's like asking Cal, like, what do you want from me?
Like, what does she mean by that? Huh? Is she being symbolic? Like, that's very specific. I have no clue what she can mean by that.
Yeah, but Shauna's like, what do you want from me, Callie? And then Callie says, she says that she basically wants like Shauna to come out with like the truth, and she also like wants like Shauna to say something to Jeff, obviously, because Jeff is out on the loop on this, and all Shauna says is I already told Dad. Like, doesn't mention anything behind that, just mentions I told him, like, makes herself look worse pretty much, and she's just like, how could you do that to him type of thing, and just leaves. And then Sean is like confused, like, I thought you wanted me to tell him type of thing. My implication is that, like, maybe Shauna just doesn't want Callie to know, like, that Jeff was the blackmailer. Maybe not the blackmailer, but, like, all the stuff Jeff was doing type of thing. Because, as we see, like, her and Jeff have, like, a pretty decent relationship. That it's not, like, bad like Shauna and Callie's is. So maybe she doesn't want to ruin that. But it's like, I mean,
I feel like Shauna, again, is just being stupid. Like, to be fair, I get, like, why she's being vague there.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, I already told Jeff. Like, he's trying to, like, not give Callie as much detail as possible. But, again, Shauna's just, like, I feel like unrealistically stupid. Like, it feels like she's doing... It feels like she has to try... Yeah, you would have to try to, like, ruin this as much as she is.
I don't understand, though, like, why she would make herself look worse by just... All she says is, like, oh, yeah, I already told Jeff. Like, okay, you didn't mention that, like, Jeff was, like, Jeff was blackmailing you and all that type of stuff.
I get why she's not saying that.
But, yeah. I feel like Shauna's not...
Me and Jeff had a long conversation, and like we worked things out. Like you figure she would give, say something like that.
But no, that's what I'm saying. She didn't say anything like that either. She just said, "I already talked to Jeff about it," type of thing. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, again, like give a little bit more detail. Like again, I get you don't want to like go into the whole blackmailing and murder thing.
Yeah,
but like, say something like besides what you just said.
I feel like Shauna doesn't really put a lot of thought into her answers and everything like that. It's kind of like, I feel
like, in the sentence right there, Shauna doesn't put a lot of thought, period.
All right. But anyhow, so, kind of doing...
Sorry if you like it, by the way. She just pisses me off.
Yeah.
Well, past Shauna's doing okay, but present Shauna's annoying.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot to mention, by the way, it's kind of a funny moment. During that mock interview that Misty gave to Shauna, the actress almost breaks out into a real accent, because in real life, the actress is from New Zealand, so it's kind of...
Well, it's funny. I actually didn't know that until you sent me the video of, like, becoming Shauna.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool. When she, like, she almost breaks into her real accent, which is pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. It happens.
She didn't quite get there. It was almost. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so as you ranted about AJ, Shauna didn't get rid of any of that stuff. She kept all that stuff. She was just gonna put it in the safe, I guess. But then she's
like, what are the odds somebody breaks into it again? It's not like one person's already broken into it already. Come on.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Callie didn't break into the safe, but she went in there and got, like, Jackie's, like, chocolate uniform.
I saw Callie going to the closet. I was thinking of Jeff. Shit, you're right. 2 people were already in the closet.
Yeah. So
the literal closet, not the figurative closet.
Yeah. But she looks at Jeff's keys and remembers something. So she calls Jeff, and Jeff tries to make a horrible dad joke where he pretends to be like someone from McDonald's. I do like this because I am mentioning this because he tries to do this a few times in the show where he makes like a dad joke and he just bombs. One of them he just bombs, and then some of them just like the landing. So I did kind of like this from Jeff. But Jeff, is kind of ready to move on from this. Like, he's actually doing really well at the store. He's sold like some good furniture and stuff like that. Mainly because, you know, I don't know if you saw the sign. He gave like 50% off like that day, I guess.
Yeah.
But Shauna tells him that like Adam has a art studio. Well, had an art studio, I guess. And Adam's like, and Jeff is just like, oh well, have you been to it? And Shauna's just like, no, I've never been to it. But he mentioned it. I think he did mention it. We just don't remember it because Adam is Adam sometimes. So.
And he did mention it. I do remember that. I don't remember exactly what he said. I think he just said like he has an art studio nearby.
Yeah.
Like remember when he was out?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So yeah, they're gonna go deal with that. So they go to the art studio, and I do like this because like doing this, Jeff is being kind of you know, not really is kind of embarrassed, I think, about this because he'll ask questions about like Shauna and Adam's like relationship. Like again, like have you been to the art studio? And then when she goes in there, they go in there and we see that like Adam was obsessed with Shauna because it shows earlier that she had like a picture he drew of her, and then we see that he has a ton of paintings of Shauna, because obviously that's
this is shitty for Jeff, you know, because like, you know, he didn't like that Shauna was cheating on him, but it kind of like evened out because he was the blackmailer.
Yeah. Well, I think what he's thinking too is I don't think he wants to leave Shauna too because like. He would kind of look like an asshole a little bit if he left Shauna for this, but like stayed with her. Because remember, he knows all about everything that happened in the past. Stayed with her, doing all that stuff type of thing. It'd be kind of weird for him.
Yeah, well, again, I feel like he's not leaving her because he does like genuinely love her. He's like, okay, look, this was kind of like both of us, so like I can overlook it. But like, you know, having to go to the studio and seeing how much he like drew her, and like, you know, it's like really rubbing the salt in the wound, you know?
Yeah, and I think too, you know. Jeff is probably like questioning like, have I actually been a good like husband and all that type of stuff? Maybe it's putting up to like feelings from the past, you know, because obviously they did this to like Jackie type of thing. So maybe it's putting up those feelings.
And also, I think it's because of what Shauna says to him. I think for him it's a little like because I think there's like pictures of like naked Shauna, like Adam drew like pictures. Naked. So I think it's a little like for Jeff it's like emasculating that like this younger dude like, you know, slept with his wife, saw her naked, and is like, you know, saw her naked enough to like be able to draw her from memory.
Right. And you know,
because I take it in that direction because Shauna, you know, what she says to him.
I mean, I take it various directions. The main direction I take it from is like, you know, I think too the thing is like. What Jeff did was bad, but there's none to be like Jeff's thing is kind of over now. Like he paid the loan sharks, he can get the business running again. But with Shauna's, it's kind of a lingering thin because they have to kind of go. Yeah. Like Jeff's thing, he never had to deal with ever again. The main takeaway I take from it is like I feel like Jeff's just kind of stuck because like. You know, even though they both did wrong, Jeff will look like more of an asshole for leaving Shauna because if he was willing to stay with her through doing all that shitty stuff in the woods, but like can't let this go type of thing.
Well, I'm like, again, I don't think Jeff's like debating if he wants to like leave Shauna here.
Yeah, not at all.
I don't think. So I'm just saying, like I don't think that's on the table for him right now. I'm just trying to think of like, okay, like what is he thinking during all this? And I'm like, yeah, he probably feels like
emasculated, definitely.
Like rubbing salt in the wounds, and he feels like emasculated. But
and also, it's his fault. It's kind of his fault that this situation haven't happened anyways. So
right, like you said, guilty because one, this whole thing kind of started because of him, and you know, like he's kind of getting a taste of his own medicine because they did this to Jackie.
Yeah, but yeah, they go to the art studio. Like they said, they see all that stuff, and that's the main. Then, and like as you said, Jeff's looking at all these pictures, because originally Jeff thought she did pose for him, but that wasn't the case. So like this is when Jeff realized like, okay, he must have seen my wife naked like a bunch of times to like be able to draw her from memory, and you know. I think Shauna calms him down, being like, you know, I used to be scared, and wonder what I would do if I found out you cheated on me with somebody. But I might be actually attracted to that. The thought of you with someone like turns me on. I mean, she goes into it more in depth than what I'm going to go into it. So
yeah. So when she said that, I did like a double take.
yeah,
Cause like you said, okay. So I guess I'll fucking bite that bullet. I'll like say it. So she says like, like the thought, like for a long time, the thought of you like with another woman like scared me. But like it also like turned me on, which like made me think I was a pervert.
yeah.
And then so I was like, okay, so there's a lot to unpack with that. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. That's
That's like a turn on for kids.
Weird because okay, so clearly Shauna was upset when she thought Jeff was cheating on her.
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of, I mean, I don't know. It feels kind of like the writers didn't even think about that in season 1, but now they're trying to add like an extra layer to Shauna in season 2 that like wasn't there in season 1.
Yeah, maybe too. She was saying this too to try to make Jeff feel better too. You know, because obviously he's feeling emasculated, so he's trying to make him feel better. Also, too, it kind of gets us a little bit into the mind of Shauna, like when she, is this what she was thinking doing the whole time where she slept with Jeff while him and Jackie were dating, and is this just Shauna coming to terms with it now type of thing? It's a big question. But then doing all this, they end up having sex off screen, or there's cuts away, but then doing all this, I think Jeff
also see like while Jeff's doing it with her, he's like staring at the paintings on the wall.
I think trying to get trying to get some of his masculinity back and everything like that.
I feel like it's kind of like in the same way where like Shauna slept with Jeff to like one up Jackie. It feels like now Jackie and now Jeff is sleeping with Shauna to kind of like one up Adam.
You can't one up Adam though. Adam's got a league of his own though. So
yeah, I know. You will never one up Adam. Adam's eternal.
Harvey might actually. You never know. Actually, Keita's dad would probably one up Adam. Keita's dad.
I mean, you can already assume that Keita's dad's already slept with everybody's wife. Shows.
He's probably slept with Shauna like 4 times.
Oh yeah. Shauna's like, I slept with Adam. Jeff's like, how dare you? And I also slept with Keita's dad. He's like, okay, well, I mean, that one's understandable.
It's Keita's dad. I mean, the fact that he doesn't even have a name probably turns Shauna on. So,
does that mean she was attracted to Crystal before Crystal got a name?
Why not?
No, it's because Crystal didn't exist at all before.
But yeah, continuing with this, after Shauna and Jeff do what they're doing, they kind of realize that they have to deal with what's in the art studio. So I guess that the idea is I thought they burned it to the ground off screen, but I don't think that was the case. I think what they did was they just poured like gasoline over it and just like smeared out the paintings and stuff to make it look like Shauna's face and everything like that. The only reason I think, because I don't think they. The only reason I say that, because I like to think they burnt it off screen, but one, that'd be way too noticeable, and 2, I don't think they would do something like that off screen. That seems like something a show would want to show. So,
but yeah, Jeff's afterwards, I think Jeff goes to his car first before Shauna, and we get a really cool scene where Jeff is like sitting in the car, and then he like starts playing music, and he just kind of starts like slamming the wheel. And this kind of reminds me of Breaking Bad, where after blowing up Tuco's hideout, went to his car and he just sort of like slamming the wheel, going like, yeah, like it really like like that Jeff's Breaking Bad, because he's been in the same boat as Shauna, where he's kind of just like been living like a normal life for like decades. So this was kind of him, like Breaking Bad a little bit.
I think too, this was also him like getting all the emotions that like. Because the next scene is like him going to Shauna, like him getting all the emotions that he was feeling like out without anyone really knowing about it too, and everything like that. So, yeah. It's kind of funny too because the songs by Papa Roach.
Oh, I love them. I didn't even notice.
Yeah. it's cut my life into pieces. It's kind of funny. The actor, he like graduated like the same year that Sean came out, like college and everything like that. And he never heard this song before this show, which is actually pretty funny. So, because like they asked if he picked the song, and he said he never even heard the song before. And he said when he filmed this originally, like the car like fell apart, like the mirror like came to get apart, and he like he wanted to use that take, but obviously like he couldn't use that take because then they would, obviously because you can't really use the car after that, they would be opening a can of worms. He wanted to do a funny scene where like there was like a dent in the wheel, and then Shauna came in afterwards and used the car, and she's like, "Why is there a dent in the wheel?" But obviously that would have been that would be. Hey, if that was 2.5 Men, and if it was Rose, that totally would have happened. So
I will say that would be a joke from 2.5 Men. Yeah.
But yeah, so Jeff and Shauna, are gonna just take all of Adam's stuff and like her journals and stuff and just burn it in the barbecue. And I feel like Jeff has a good alibi. Like he just decides like, hey, we're just gonna have hot dogs and beans for dinner, just to kind of give us an alibi of why we're using the grill in November. Even though it wasn't even that bad out. You could have used the grill anyways. You didn't need an alibi for that, but okay.
It's not that cold out. More from what it looks like.
I mean, I'm saying this watching this in 15-degree weather right now, so it's like,
Yeah.
So they at first Shauna lightly douses it into with gasoline, and Jeff like really pours it on. What he says is like, we just want to make sure it burns. I think Jeff just kind of wanted to burn this just to get, kind of like a way to one-up Adam type of thing, saying you slept with my wife and I can't do anything about it because you're dead now, so this was kind of a way to like, I'm gonna burn all your stuff and take all your stuff down with me type of thing. And
take that, Adam. And Adam shows up around the corner like, sorry, Jeff.
That kind of did happen actually, so
Yeah.
But the stuff burns. They do a comedy moment where like, because they were kind of stupid here and like did it underneath like a tree, so the flames like caught like a branch on the tree, so they have to put it out.
They doused it in gasoline to like really make sure it burned.
Right. So
it caused it to like the flame to get really high, and like you said, it caught the tree on fire.
I do like this because this dealing with Adam's death immediately storyline reminded me of the Breaking Bad thing, where they did the episode in the season premiere, like dealing with Gus's death, and I feel like this was a good contrast to it because obviously by the time that Gus died, like Walt, Jesse, and Mike were all experienced in the criminal world where they didn't really necessarily do it before, but they knew kind of not to make mistakes. Well, here they never really done a crime before, so all the careless mistakes they make, like again, dousing the barbecue with too much gasoline made sense and everything like that.
Interesting that you brought up that one because I was going to compare it to episode 2 of season 1 when they're dealing with Tuco and not Tuco, Crazy 8 and Emilio.
Well, I think I went with Gus just because Adam was a bigger character and everything like that. So
yeah, true. But I agree.
And then later in the night, Jeff bombs his dad joke again, and like Shauna and Jeff are getting along pretty well, and this is kind of bugging Callie, which, being in her shoes, I could understand because like from her time frame, Shauna didn't really mention that like her and Jeff work things out. So like Callie's like, okay, what are you just gonna pretend like nothing's wrong here and all that type of stuff? So she's kind of walking away.
Well, it's two things. One, now she knows that her dad knows Shauna was cheating, and she's still suspicious of Adam. What happened with Adam? Yeah.
So she goes to walk away from the situation, but she's not very successful. If anything,
I don't think Shauna told Jeff that Callie knew, or that Callie is like suspicious about Adam.
Right.
So I'm like, Shauna, you probably should have mentioned that.
I think she learned from Lottie when she doesn't mention things that need to be mentioned. I think she took that lesson from Lottie.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
Spoiler, Lottie's going to do this again this season, by the way. I just want to mention that.
Or you don't have this conversation like a normal fucking human. Great.
But, so I think Jeff, too, wants to prepare not just the marriage, but the family life, because Callie's going to go make, like, a veggie burger, and, like, Jeff wants to be like the old school dad and just provide for his family, which I think is kind of a nice. I feel like Jeff really comes into his own as like a character and like an actor, like in this episode. Like I feel like the actor does a good job portraying Jeff, like trying to.
Yeah, I really like I said, like that scene in the car. Where he's kind of, the scene in the art studio here. Yeah, I'm really liking Jeff in this episode.
I think too, Jeff was because I think originally when I saw Yellowjackets, I thought Jeff would just be like the husband type of thing, like he would just be.
Yeah, he was kind of just there, and then when he became the blackmailer, I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
But here, I think it makes it better type of thing, and I think he's just trying to piece together like the damage he did. From Adam and everything. Like, I mean, Jeff couldn't help that though. Adam always shows up in the wrong place at one time. It was just that was really the wrong place, really the wrong time type of thing. So, I mean, we joked about it last season. Adam could have met Shauna like a week before the blackmail thing, and everything would have been fine type of thing. So,
literally, exactly.
But at the end of at the end of all this, Callie, I think presumably the next day, goes through the barbecue and sees, Jeff was convinced that was going to burn. No, it didn't burn. Shauna has his driver's license, so this kind of confirms that. Now this confirms to Callie that she had something to do with, Adam's disappearance.
He had his license, and not only that, she was like trying to burn it. It's like, okay, that's pretty bad confirmation that you did something to him.
Yeah. Maybe, it still could be a coincidence, though. Adam's Adam sometimes. Maybe someone else did something to him, type of thing.
Yeah, everybody has a piece of Adam's license.
That'd be awesome. They just make copies of it. But that was everything with. But that was everything with the Shauna dealing with Adam's death. I'm gonna give it like a thumbs in the middle, slightly pointing up, mainly because of Jeff. I thought Jeff was the. Yeah, give it that. I thought Jeff was kind of the star of that whole thing. I thought he was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Again, like I said, my opinions on past Shauna have gone up a little bit from this episode. My opinions on present day Shauna are about where they are. I don't really care for her, and I think she's annoying. I mean, again, not the actress's fault. I think she's doing a good job with what she has. I just think she's not well written so far. Hopefully that changes. She just comes off as fucking stupid. But like again, I'm really liking Jeff. I didn't really think much of him in season 1.
Yeah.
But like you said, he's kind of like coming into his own as a character. I'm starting to like him a lot. Same with Callie.
Yeah.
I remember you told me Callie's like annoying. Honestly, I think Callie's reactions to all of this shit are like very understandable and like reasonable.
Well, I was only going based off season 1. Yeah, I like Callie in season 2. I think
Yeah.
And
I like season 1, and I think here, again, it's kind of like my opinion's only improving.
And it seems like Callie, is becoming a bigger character now, because before she was just kind of like Shauna's daughter. Now it seems like she's gonna get like a story now and everything like that, which is good. So I like that. And then continuing, we got the follow up with Thaisa stuff. I'll just kind of mention this quick because it's not very long. Thaisa, now is the senator, and she buys a dog to kind of make amends to like the dog disappearing,
Disappearing.
Well, that's what she knows. That's what she
I know. Yeah, it's kind of funny how like Simone knows what actually happened, and Thaisa herself doesn't even know yet.
Yeah,
that's kind of funny.
And kind of doing all this, she's kind of making phone calls with her like political manager, and then I just think it's funny that a political manager was like already talking about her getting like reelected when she hadn't even like taken office yet. That seems like that's pretty realistic. So, but it's just pretty.
Oh yeah,
funny.
I was gonna say that is a very realistic thing. Of like, yeah, the election season never really ends. Like as soon as you're elected, like you got to prepare for the next election.
Right. But yeah. So they go to Sammy's school, and Thaisa comes over and shows like Sammy the dog, and is trying to like make amends with Sammy and everything like that. And Simone shows up and basically like gets Sammy away from this. She tells Taissa to stay away from him. I like that she put Sammy's headphones on so that way he wouldn't even hear the conversation and everything like that. It kind of tells Sammy to go do his own thing while they talk. And Simone confronts Taissa.
How Taissa's again, she doesn't know exactly what she's talking about, so she's kind of everything okay? Oh, sorry, Sammy. I guess we're just having a little fight. We'll deal with it. Sorry.
Yeah.
She's just treating it all right, this is weird. But then once Simone is she sees how serious Simone is being, she's whoa, okay, what's going on?
Yeah. So Simone basically tells Taissa to basically get the help that she needs, drop out of office if you ever want to see Sammy again, and if you don't get the help that you need, I will go to the press and say what I saw in the basement. Because from Simone's perspective, she probably thinks that Taissa does know type of thing, and she just not really dealing with it and all that type of stuff. So
yeah,
I like that Simone called Taissa out about it the next time she saw her, which I thought was good. Simone, when it comes to characters, has really good reaction time of when she should react to something. I think she.
Oh yeah, I think Simone has been reasonable every time she reacted to something.
Yeah.
And this is crazy serial killer shit. I get, so she still loves Taissa. Again, that's your wife. I get, but she's been pretty, she's been calling Taissa out on her bullshit, but she's also been a good job of understanding and trying to support her.
Yeah.
This is a good job of okay, this is some serial killer shit, and it's only gonna get worse. I need to give her an ultimatum. Get your help. You can, and we'll both you can't be in office like this. You are fucking mentally nuts.
Right.
You cannot be in a big office like that. You need to get help. Either you'll get it yourself, or I will make you do it. Essentially.
I mean, unfortunately for Simone, people not serial killers, but criminals and stuff taking office might become a regular thing with who's president right now and all the allegations he's got against him. He might be president from jail. So Taissa could do this.
I was gonna say, are we talking about okay, I was about to say, are you speaking in general or are you being specific? Okay. The answer is that.
Yeah, I was being specific because, Taissa could get all the help she needs, but she could legitimately be the senator from a mental institution now, type of thing, So, unfortunately for Simone, this isn't. Taissa could technically still be senator, So, that was a 2025 reference in 2021 time frame type of thing, but.
I was gonna say, yeah, as far as their timeline goes. Biden's still president. Well, Biden's still president.
Well, maybe not. Depends on the timeline, because technically Trump was president for a good month or so. So,
so yeah, because they loop back around. That's kind of funny.
But yeah. So yeah. So doing all this.
Okay. Oh, who's this? Oh, hey, look.
Hello. Okay. But yeah, so Taissa later in the day is doing laundry, and she's presumably smelling one of the clothes that her wife has, just to kind of feel like she's still there and all that type of stuff. And later on, she goes into the vent and sees the same shrine that Simone found, and obviously Taissa's shocked about what she's found. And when the dog comes in, she's really upset about it, and says that she's not going to make the same mistake. So yeah, Taissa finally knows that she has issues and they have to be dealt with. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, how they kind of follow up. They did a decent job, following up Taissa's storyline. It was kind of the same issue that AJ mentioned earlier, because they were trying to get everybody into the season premiere. They clearly wanted to have everyone in it, so some people didn't get the focus that they probably should have, and Taissa kind of had that issue this episode. But kind of going through all this, Misty's wondering what the hell happened to Natalie. She just took off. I haven't heard from her for a few days. And in Misty's head, Natalie's her best friend. So she goes to the motel and investigates. She goes to the manager and she asks, what happened to the woman in this room. And the manager is not telling Misty. Obviously there's discretion. I'm pretty sure, they don't want to tell anyone about who's there and everyone like that. That's a real thing where they don't want to mention it. So I like that Misty, slowly tears him down and does all these ways where she's going to get the information out of him by mentioning who he is and a social security number, which I wonder if that was someone's real social security number that they gave out type of thing. Wow, but that'd be pretty funny. And Misty basically threatens to stay there for a couple days the whole time until the guy tells her. So the guy says that she left room for the bail and just took off. And Misty starts questioning whether or not this is true. The guy could have been bullshitting, just to get Misty out of there. So later in the day, Misty uses her code to kind of go in there and to kind of see what the case is. And Misty starts to believe it at first. She gets really depressed, and I kind of like this. This is kind of the first time we've seen really Misty sad. And you say don't cry about this, Misty. Babies cry. And she's thinking that her best friend abandoned her and just left without telling her. And I just love this because the whole thing about Misty and Natalie being best friends is only in Misty's head. Because Natalie, I don't really think cares that much for Misty. So I just think it's funny that that Misty kind of goes through this. But then, she sees that the door's been, broken. The siding of the door, the wood has been chopped off and everything like that. And this kind of confirms to Misty that, somebody broke in. And let me just put his volume back up. Can you speak?
Yeah.
Okay. I had to mute you because you're on the phone. It was picking up your audio. So, But yeah, I was just finished talking about the Misty stuff. But yeah, this confirms to Misty.
Oh, you already went over the Taissa stuff?
Oh yeah, I finished.
Okay, wow, man, you move quick when I'm not here.
I mean, the Taissa thing was pretty quick anyways, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Misty, Misty also sees the camera that, it could have popped up on camera. So someone at that motel wasn't doing their job very well, the fact that that showed up on camera, and, someone just got kidnapped, and, yeah. But I like the Misty stuff, I like the fact that Misty's the one that's actively looking for Natalie, and it was kind of a good way to kind of, to kind of get us to the Natalie plot pretty normal, without and it was a nice way to cut to that type of thing. Since you missed, what did you think of the Taissa and Misty plots? I know you kind of talked about the Taissa.
Simone, she's having, like you said, very normal reactions to all this. I like that Taissa was legitimately surprised. Well, surprised, but also she immediately knew fuck, I did this.
Yeah.
With her dog's head and her weird shrine, and she grabbed Steve, the new dog, and was like, "Listen, I'm gonna do right by you." But I like it because she seemed to not really care much about Steve. She kind of was just buying him to make Simone and Sammy happy. But now it seems okay, she's caring about Steve and wanting to make amends and make things right. Yeah, I like Taissa. I think it's dumb that she just didn't know she was the lady in the tree. She's been doing this for decades. But, I like her reaction to it now, where she's legitimately feels remorseful about what she's done. And she wants to make things right as much as she can. And I feel bad for her, she's trying to juggle a marriage, her kid, fucking running for the office of senator. That's a lot on your plate,
Yeah, definitely.
I like it.
And then the Misty stuff, and then I'll talk about the Natalie stuff.
Yeah, it's fine. I was surprised because again, I thought Misty was involved with Lottie based on last season. Seems like Misty was not aware that Lottie was going after Natalie. That scene with the hotel clerk where it's basically just like him being like, "I'm not telling you anything." He's like, and Missy threatens him, and he's like, "Okay, fine." That scene went on long. Could have honestly.
Yeah.
That one was kind of lengthy. It was like 5 minutes of thing. Like,
I feel like to the guy.
and about
I said this.
She notices the doors were like busted in, and she notices the camera, and I'm just gonna like look at the security camera. That was all pretty good. I liked it. You know, again, I think the scene with the hotel dude lasted too long, but like everything else was fine.
Yeah, that's fair. I kind of agree with that.
Well, I also like how like at the beginning of the episode, Misty was kind of like in the Shauna plot line, and then she moved into the Natalie plot line.
I kind of noticed Misty doesn't get a lot of her own plots, though. She kind of goes into other people's plot lines.
I was gonna say, it's not even other people's; it's like Natalie's. I'm kind of hoping the whole season isn't just Misty with Natalie again, because I remember that was a big thing of like, yeah, Misty, like you said, was kind of tagging along with Natalie, and like wasn't even involved with Thaisa or Shauna until like the very end.
Yeah.
So hoping the plot lines like intersect more and sooner this season.
Right. Well, define sooner because there's only 9 episodes this time around versus 10. So
Episode 3, you know, because that's like a third of the season. Because you know, last season we had you know, Thaisa, Shauna, and Natalie meet up for the blackmailer thing.
Yeah.
And you know, like Shauna and Thaisa talked a few times. Natalie and Thaisa talked a few times, and then you know at the end we had all 4 of them. So I'm hoping, you know, again we get more of those like intersections.
I agree. And maybe we'll see if it happens or not. So by episode 3, let's see what AJ says. You know, I'm gonna hold you to that. You know, you said episode 3. Let's see what happens in episode 3. So, but you know, kind of wondering what's going on with Natalie, though. You know, what has she been doing? You know, we had the first thing we saw of Lottie was that speech that AJ mentioned. I thought that was a good introduction to Lottie. You know, and she's running this cult now, and this kind of confirms a little bit that this was the same cult that like kidnapped Natalie the last episode. Don't know if it was the same actors, because as you know with Yellowjackets, they like to randomly cast actors in and out type of thing, and have people show back up and everything like that. So you don't know. But yeah, so yeah, Natalie. We see that it is strapped to. I guess a bed. It's not much of a bed, but it's a bed. She probably was better off sleeping at the bed at the motel than she was this bed. And yeah, somebody. I gotta say, Natalie's actress. I think Juliette Lewis is her name. Did a really good job in this scene. I think you could definitely tell she is probably the best actress out of all of the main 4 because her acting here was very good. And one of the members of the cult come in and gets ready to feed Natalie. And, you know, Natalie makes mention, like, is there a reason, like, I have to be strapped like this? And the person's like, well, we don't want you to hurt yourself because we know, we have, you know, a history of doing that. Because, you know, obviously she was about to do that and commit suicide the last episode. Yeah, it's just this person. And as you're going to see, this is the first time I think that this person's had to do this. It's pretty obvious right away because the person doesn't really know what to do. She just puts the food like right next to Natalie while she's still strapped in, and Natalie can't even like eat it. So Natalie's like, aren't you going to like unstrap me? I can't exactly like eat like this. And like the person's kind of questioning like whether or not she wants to do this. And the person goes to do it. And she's about to like unhook Natalie's you know, right hand, but then she's like, wait, you're not a lefty, are you? And Natalie's like, no, of course not. That's mistake 101. Don't just assume that, like, the person... I mean, then again, what Natalie does, it wouldn't have mattered anyways if she was a righty or a lefty, but don't just assume that because, yeah, the person unlocks Natalie. And, yeah, she unlocks her left hand. And, you know, Natalie eats... The food looked okay, you know, it looked like good eats.
honestly, Natalie, she should have stayed there forever. Be like, fuck it, I'll sit on this bed, meat every day. I'm cool.
But then, after this happens, after she eats and everything like that, the person comes back in, and Natalie mentions that like she's got to be strapped down again, and obviously the person is kind of hesitant to go strap Natalie because I assume Lottie probably clued her in like, yeah, this person might like attack you and everything like that. So and I think the person just kind of wanted to probably prove to Lottie that she could do this on her own because as you're gonna see with this code, you move up like based on roles and everything like that. So this person's like, nah, I think we can handle this ourselves. This person made another big mistake. Gave Natalie a weapon. Natalie stabs her. What we thought was going to be the eye, because, she did have a little bit of a scar of an eye, but when she falls to the floor, we see that this person was able to kind of, like, block it with her hand accidentally because Natalie stabbed her in the hand. But, yeah, as you saw, this person did not know what she was doing when it came to, like, kidnapping Natalie. Like, because what Natalie, too, is, I think, was able to use the key to unlock herself again, but Natalie, this person learned two important lessons. Don't assume someone's a lefty, even though they'll assume someone's not a lefty if they tell you they're not to, and no weapons. Don't give someone you've kidnapped a weapon. Maybe a spoon, but I don't know.
And you the first one, honest mistake. Second one, kind of should have been obvious.
Yeah.
Well, okay. You said a weapon, it's a spoon. But, imagine she gives her a fucking, AK-47. Like, I'm handing you this gun. Don't go shooting anybody with it, buddy. Yeah.
Also, probably shouldn't have unstrapped Natalie. That was a big mistake, too. That she probably shouldn't have even been unstrapped at all, so...
I feel like she should watched her eat, Oh,
that's another big mistake, too, yeah, right there, so...
Yeah, she left the room. It's like, why not just stand guard in the room, watch her eat, take the food, strap her up again, leave?
Yeah, several mistakes were made here. So, hey, you know what though? Yeah, this is how
Lottie's gonna be the manager doing the year reviews, being like, sorry, these performances ain't good. I'll let you go.
It's like those people.
Kind of our wood cult.
Like those aliens from the Rick and Morty episode we just reviewed, where they treated that like a 9-to-5 job type of thing. Yeah.
Office job, that's funny.
But yeah, Natalie, she starts running down. She runs through the woods. She nearly escaped on her own. Had the stuff with Lolly not happened, Natalie probably would have escaped on her own without any issues. Probably.
This honestly seems like a fucking pretty big location.
I said might have, so she would have probably.
I don't know. It seems like I was kind of wondering what Natalie's plan here was. I mean, granted, I get it. She doesn't really know where the fuck she is. She was just like, I gotta get out of here. But she was just kind of running around the woods. I'm like, okay, so what are you gonna do now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is where it has that weird cut to the past I said I was going to come back to. During this chase, it cuts to that, Thaisa Van thing, where Van mentioned she loved her, and then cuts back to Natalie thing. That was a really weird cut to the past, because that wasn't connected. They should have cut to, the Travis, and, scene where he had his panic attack, and then to the Natalie, and then back to here, because that was a really weird cut, because the Thaisa thing didn't have anything to do with what Natalie was doing here. That was a really weird cut to the past. Did you think that was a weird cut to the past, or were you fine with it? Because that was a really weird cut to the past.
Owen, you're insane. I don't even know. I agree. It was a weird cut.
Yeah. Hey, you know what though? It's gonna go. I'll bring this up again when we do the ranking video during the OVB and Yellowjackets then. So I'm gonna bring that up again.
Weird cut. Woo-hoo.
Hey, this is the point against season 2 so far. Weird cuts to the past. So
well, it's only one weird cut so far. So not too bad. But we're watching you, Yellowjackets.
Yeah. And we had time jumps in the past. That's a point again. That's 2 points right there.
Yeah.
That's both seasons. That's actually both seasons. So that might be 4 points. So, but yeah. So Natalie.
Because of how stupid Shauna was. Again, even though the guard was being dumb, I like Natalie's plan where again she didn't jump her when she gave her the food.
Yeah.
You know, she was like being enough, you know, kind of lowering her guard. So when she came back for like the plates and stuff, then she made her move, you know, because the lady had like lowered her guard by that point. And again, I completely agree with Natalie. Like, okay, like, you know, you don't know who the fuck you are. Get out of there. I think when she got out of the building and she started like running around in the woods, I'm like, okay, maybe like think of a plan. You know, like get an idea of your surroundings. Don't just run around.
Yeah. And then
even though it is very in character for Natalie when she saw Lottie to just get pissed off and walk up to her and be like, Lottie, this is your bullshit. But, you know, Natalie, I can definitely see her like doing that.
I feel like this is why it would have been good if the Travis thing had been shown, like when they cut to the past year, because then you would have gotten like, okay, I mean you got that anyways, but you would have like got that even more, like, okay, they kind of don't like it, they're kind of not getting along in the past, not like anything crazy, but like if they hate each other here, what happens in the past? Like it would have made you ask those questions more had they showed that Travis scene in the past type of thing. Yeah. The cult's about to perform some weird ritual where they're gonna bury like an old guy naked. I don't think like bury him alive, like and kill him or anything like that, but just some ritual.
Oh, I thought that was the implication that we're gonna like kill him, bury him alive.
Again, I don't know because it gets interrupted, so that's why I'm saying I don't know. I'm just guessing. You know, this guy got a great acting gig here. All he had to do was just show up naked and go into a hole. That's didn't have to speak. Yeah. We could add him. We could add.
Like, sweet, it's just another Tuesday for me. Sweet.
We could just. By the way, too. We could add him, this old guy, to the list of unnamed people. So.
Yeah. All right, naked old man who's getting buried. I'm gonna add him to the list.
Yep. Unfortunately, AJ, you can't add that the girl that Natalie kicked up because she shows back up again and gets a name, so you can't add her to the list. You can add it now.
Oh, you're telling me naked old man who gets buried doesn't show up again? 0 out of 10 episode.
You know what? He could show up again. So, but yeah, Natalie goes up and talks about how messed up Lottie is, and is about to and tells Lottie basically to give me a reason why I shouldn't cave your head in. And Lottie says that she has a message from Travis, and that's the end of the present day timeline. Really, the end of the episode, because then it's everything like in the past that you already mentioned. And I kind of like this, and I am questioning what did like Lottie mean by that type of thing. Like, did she mean like a message from? Because she said a message from Travis. It was kind of vague. Like, did she do some type of like seance and talk to like Travis while he was dead, or did she? Did like Lottie and Travis talk before type of thing? So I did wonder, like, what did Lottie mean by that when she said, "I have a message from you from Travis"? Like, is this Travis like now like dead, or is this Travis like before he died type of thing? I was kind of questioning what she meant by that type of thing, you know. But
she had information on like who killed Travis, not like a message from Travis specifically. But
no, she said a message. She said a message from Travis. She didn't say like.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why. What does she mean by that? Like, it's just Travis, like, did she have a seance or, like, meditate and, like, talk to Travis? Or, like, was this, like, before Travis died? Like, I didn't know what she meant by that type of thing. So, you know. But I like this.
Yeah, she's still very mysterious, and, like, we don't know what her intentions are.
Yeah. I will say this, good introduction to Lottie. I've talked to you about this off camera. I'm not a big fan of present day Lottie. So we're not at that point yet. I thought this was a good introduction to Lottie. I like that Lottie too is only in the beginning of the episode, at least present day anyways, is only in the beginning of the episode and like the end of the episode type of thing. You know, I feel like because they were doing so much with the other characters, it makes sense to kind of have it. And it kind of shows that, like, she's so, you know, kind of builds the mysterious around her, like, even more and everything like that.
Yeah. Although, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm really hoping that they don't do that. They don't make it continue that trend of, like, every episode has, like, a million different fucking plot lines. I hope we get, like, more episodes, you know? One
thing I forgot to mention, too, by the way, the connection... the characters in the cult, they have like a necklace and it's got like that symbol that they use during like the seance. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, yeah.
So it seems like that, you know, and again, I think we talked about this in the season 1 finale, because we don't really know anything about this cult. Like, did Lottie start this cult, or did she take over was this cult something else, and she took it over and, like, made it her own thing, type of thing, so.
Yeah. I remember, back in season 1, when we first saw those symbols out in the woods, my thought was, like, the cult was already out there with them, and they were going to, like, interact with them. But now that we're finished with season 1, it's more so looking like, yeah, Lottie created this cult.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to get more information on it.
And that was the end of episode 1. I'll do my letter grade first, because I think I had you go first last time. I think it's like, you know, a good solid season premiere. I'll probably give this a B-. It's a little disappointing for a season premiere, because they didn't really, like, do anything too big to follow up from the season finale, and they didn't have, like, this... Typically, when you watch a season premiere, you want, like, this big moment to come out of the season premiere that like get you talking and want to watch the rest of the episode. And I think the only big moment that we had was like Shauna eating Jackie's ear, because that's the first time someone did cannibalism that we actually saw, but it wasn't, I don't think, enough of a big moment to like hook the audience, really. It was kind of so I'm gonna give it a B-. It's still good, it's still well. If this had been just a normal episode, I'd probably give it maybe a B, but because it's the season premiere, it's a little disappointing for a season premiere, so I'm going to give it like a B-.
I'm probably going to also give it a B-. Virgin. I was verging on C+, but like, even though I think there are a good amount of flaws with this episode, I do think there are plenty of highs as well. Like we said, Simone and Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in them. I think they're, and Callie as well. I'm really liking Kaisa's part in this episode. Natalie as well. Misty's kind of just like whatever. And again, I'm not really sold on Shauna. I like this episode with past Shauna. Like this episode got me more interested in past Shauna, present day Shauna. Still don't really care for her. Yeah, so I mean, overall for a season premiere, it's kind of disappointing, but like I liked it. Yeah, B-, verging on C+, but overall, this has made me interested to see what they're going to do with the rest of the season.
I will say this, though, not a good trend for season premieres of Yellowjackets, because I don't think we gave the first episode like a big grade either. I think that got like a B-, B-ish type of thing. So I hope this I hope this doesn't become a trend. I hope the next season premiere
grade comes out, it doesn't start on like a meh, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, a B- isn't meh. Like it's solid. Like it's
right. I'm just saying it's not. It's the last season premiere we got.
And a lot of shows like really fucking come out swinging. You know, like they were like, we really got to hook the audience here, and then Yellowjackets doesn't really seem to be doing that.
Yeah. I will say this. It could have been too, because they didn't release episodes 1 and 2 the same day, but they released episode 2 like a few days later. I'm pretty sure. Like it was because it wasn't a week. It was like, I mean, I don't want to have you guess, but the next episode comes out April 2nd. This was March 23rd, so it wasn't that long afterwards that the episode.
I'm gonna have to remember that tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, fuck, April 2nd, April 2nd.
But yeah, the next episode wasn't really that long away from episode 1, so maybe they didn't want to do like a big thing. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what episode 2's like. Well, I've already seen it, but you get my point.
Yeah. Well, we will talk about it soon. I'm glad to be back at Yellowjackets, and hopefully we'll get season 2 done, ready, so we can do season 3 weekly.
Yeah. Like, again, it's going to be interesting to see what I think of it in season 2. I still really like it and everything like that, but I'm itching to get to RVB season 9, and the sooner we get done with this, the sooner we get to RVB season 9 type of thing. So.
Oh, yeah, looking forward to the first with season 9. More on projects related to the director. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, so...
And that'll be fun to compare it to Yellowjackets, which is also doing a past and present story.
Yeah. But yeah, anything you want to plug or promote before we get off of here?
No.
Oh, man, you're never gonna... I'm gonna plug it. Putz Pause. Check out... Maybe he'll upload something. You should just do like a 2-second like video just so you could say you finally uploaded something. Like...
I should just like record myself farting and then upload that.
Why not? Do it. But yeah, obviously on my end, you know, you could check out the RVB Yellowjacket reviews we're going to be doing. The Friday, this is the plan anyways, the Friday before Yellowjackets Season 3 premieres, we're going to do a ranking video, ranking what did do in the past and the present the best, and like what we thought was the best of those seasons and everything like that. It's crazy to think they both these things, it's one of them, Elijah Wood shows up in like both. The only one he misses is season 1. That's the only thing he of Yellowjackets. So, yeah, and then obviously check out my Less Than Fortune 44 channel. GM's on hiatus, so we'll probably come back February 4th. Because we'll be following up into Yellowjackets. We'll be able to kind of get that going again. But that's pretty much it, guys. And since we recorded in the past, we will talk to you guys in the future.
Bye-bye.